This is the best of the wrap-up show. A recap and behind-the-scenes look with John High and Gary 𝗛𝗏𝗱. The best of the wrap-up show begins now.
Hey, it's Sal Governale, and on Monday's wrap-up show, we discussed Richard Christie's wedding. Who's coming? Not Robin, not Gary, not Fred, and maybe Howard. We discussed it, and we also discussed the fact that I may get a little crazy. Will I? Check it out.
And now joining us is the man whose wedding is causing great controversy and angst all throughout the hallways of the Stern bullpen, and that would be the only Richard Christie.
Well, it's funny how everybody always says that when you're planning a wedding, you're supposed to be stressed out and filled with angst, but I'm not. Howard is more than me.
Were you going to go in today if Howard didn't call you in? Because it sounded to me like he was debating what to do, what not to do. He was almost looking for you to come in and say, hey, it's okay if you don't come.
Yeah, I mean, it's his decision. I'm not going to, tell him either way, because whatever he wants to do, I'm fine with. Like people were saying, I didn't go to Jason's wedding, and that was my decision because I had something to do. So if Howard... Do
you regret that, by the way, now that you're having your own wedding?
No, not really. That was an awesome concert.
Well, yeah.
Sorry, Jason, but...
You should clarify what you chose to do, because it's not like, instead of going to Jason's wedding, for people who don't know.
I went to see my favorite band, 𝗛𝗄𝗿𝗱 in Los Angeles.
But how many... What you saw them how many nights in a row?
Well, I saw them 4 nights in a row in New York and then 4 nights in L.A.
Right, so you could have skipped a night.
Yeah, but it was my favorite album. They played it in full the night Jason got married.
Can anybody here name a 𝗛𝗿𝗄𝗿𝗱 album?
I
know you can. Can anybody else?
But that's why I like it. I don't like mainstream stuff. I like stuff, niche stuff.
Does it bother you that, you heard why Robin's not going? Fred's not going because he doesn't go to any of these things. Mm-hmm. And Gary said he's going to be in the Outer Banks. And Howard is struggling because he wanted to make plans with friends I guess they hadn't seen in a long time. I don't know. That was sort of the explanation I heard. But does it hurt if you know that he could be there and he doesn't come?
No, honestly, no. I mean, my main thing, and this is what I've said all along, I want my fiance to be happy. I want her to have the perfect day, and that's the most important thing. So even if I was hurt by Howard not coming, to me, my feelings don't even matter about this wedding. I want her to have the perfect day and her to be happy. And I think what's most important for her is that her family and that her close friends are there, and they will be. And I think she's going to be so excited about that. And whoever wants to come, they can come. If you got plans, it's fine.
How important is the wedding day to you, though?
Very important. I mean, I just, I'm with the most awesome person in the world, and I'm really lucky to have found somebody that I love this much. And
then your wife's going to be there too, because I think you were talking about Sal.
Sal, yeah. Sal's my best man. So
is he?
Yeah.
Is Sal going to be your best man?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Fuck off, John.
Are there going to be any hijinks at all? Were you going to take your dick out at the
No, I won't.
That's where the ring is.
No balls are coming out. No Captain Sacks.
See, I'm surprised because you do
what? No Captain Sacks at the wedding?
Because you'll do that at people's weddings who don't want that to happen. Richard, I'm guessing, gives you the all clear.
Well, in the past, when I have done that at weddings, it wasn't deliberate. I get really drunk and things happen.
I love at Billy Mira's wedding when you climbed up his wife's dress, and you were singing real dirty Bon Jovi.
What did you sing at Billy Mira's wedding?
Living on a prayer. I think I want to fuck your pubic hair or something like that. I don't know. Come in your pubic hair. I just grabbed the microphone. The guy, how the DJ goes around with the mic, and everybody's singing along the lines like, "Oh, living on a prayer." And I grabbed it. I looked at Brian like, "I want to come in your pubic hair," and and there was like an 8-year-old kid on the dance floor, and the mother grabbed the kid by the sides of his ears to cup him and dragged him away. But again, it wasn't. It was good old-fashioned alcohol.
Is it going to be a first dance for Richard and his wife, and then one for you and Richard?
Whatever he wants.
I know you two are going to dance together. I know that's inevitable.
That'll happen, I'm sure.
I said the only thing separating me and Kristen is pretty much the dress. I mean, that's the only difference.
Well, and a vagina.
Well,
do you think
even that's up for discussion? Whether that's what's separating you.
Put some hair around my asshole. Richard will go to town.
Do you think Howard should go to the wedding?
Do I think he should go to the wedding? I think he should do whatever he wants. But if he's miserable, by all means, no. If you're miserable, nobody wants somebody miserable there. And he's made it clear that he's going to be miserable. So if Howard's going to be happy with his friends away, by all means, I suggest he does that. I've been to weddings that I didn't want to be at, and all you do is stir your coffee, listen to some shitty music, and you can't wait to get the hell out of there.
But are there things that you go to that you don't want to do, but you know that it's the right thing to do?
Yeah, home every day, pretty much. You know? But you
he
do,
stirs
you know,
his coffee at home every day.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
But don't you think?
Drop cyanide in somebody's cup one day.
When you're in those situations, don't you sort of make the best of it? You typically like.
You do make the best. Look, there's a difference between doing something and not making people aware. But Howard has made it perfectly clear that he doesn't want to do this and that he's going to be miserable. The fact that he stated that already, I think it's acceptable for him not to go because he's made it clear. He's being honest.
He's at the point now. I think he's going to be miserable either way. He's going to be miserable if he goes. Not miserable, but you know what I mean. He's like, why do I have to do this? Why do I have to do this? But if he doesn't, he's going to be like feeling all guilty and like I should be there.
But he shouldn't feel guilty because we don't feel bad about it. My fiance. I mean, honestly, though, my fiance gets stressed about this because when Howard kind of makes fun of our wedding and she gets really bummed out about it. So it probably is better if he decides not to go because I don't want her to be stressed out that he's here. That he's at the wedding.
Does it matter to Kristen? Like, is she at all like, oh, it's embarrassing if he doesn't come, or is that no big deal?
No, that's not a big deal at all. No, she wants, the people that want to be there. And unfortunately, I think if Howard's there, my fiance is going to be worried the whole time that Howard's having a miserable time, and I don't want my fiance to worry about that. I want her to have the greatest day of her life.
So you're going to take the dinner and the gift?
He doesn't have to do the dinner. I can tell that's another thing he doesn't want to do.
Do you get insulted when he says, "I'll take you and your former intern fiance to dinner"?
No, not at all.
I thought that was a bit of a dig, right?
Well, that and I forgot what he said. I forgot how he described you as well. Contest winner.
Right. That was Rob who brought that up.
I've been dug at 1,000 times on this show, so no, digs don't bother me anymore. But he doesn't have to do the dinner. The gift will be great. I got to be honest.
Shoot us a number that works for you.
Did you have a number in your head when you were in there?
I really don't because
$10,000, Richard.
That's fine. That's great. I mean,
you have a number in your head, I'm sure, over there.
Oh, I do.
Hey, Rick, I will tell you that when I got married, Howard did the same thing on the air about, what should we give you? What should we give you? And several friends of mine called me and said, you should thank Howard because he talked about it on the air about whatever he was going to give. The guy said, I know for me, he drove up my price.
Yeah, he set the bar.
He set the bar. And a lot of people said, well, they went higher because they heard what Howard was talking about.
Yeah, when Howard said today, he goes, if I do attend, I'm going to give you $200. I was like, shit. I wanted to bring up something as well. I love Richard's style for this wedding. It's not the traditional wedding. Like, he's doing something that I've never seen before.
What's that?
And I wanted to get your opinion on how you think Howard would feel about it. He's not doing assigned seating. It's just sit at any table that you like for the dinner. And I was like, wow, because, that's a pretty big thing.
Well, everybody said that's one of the most stressful things about a wedding is deciding.
Putting it together.
Yeah, so we're like, well, then let's just avoid that and people can sit whether they want.
But there's also a reason why you do that because then it's just bedlam.
So Howard shows up, sits down.
Right. So I want to get your opinion on
173 people immediately go over.
Here's what I have in my mind. Aunt Gladys from Missouri just walks over to Howard, doesn't know who he is. Goes, anybody sitting here?
Yucko might sit next to Howard.
Oh, might. Howard knows Yucko's going to be there. He might not go at all.
Yeah. It will be interesting to see who sits next to who and who gets avoided from our show, certainly. Ronnie, what do you want to say?
I just came in real quick to say I am going to the wedding. I could have been in Indianapolis, but I'd rather go to his wedding because I am preparing a speech you'll never forget.
Thank you, Ronnie.
Is it going to be like the one you gave at Bubba's wedding?
I thought you retired from these speeches.
I don't know. We'll see. At his wedding?
He just looks retired.
At his wedding, I might reconsider.
I told Ronnie, I said, Sal's going to be my best man, and Ronnie's going to be my best old man.
But, the speech is in the works.
You think Howard should go?
He doesn't go to anybody else's, really, so I don't know.
No, you're not answering my question.
If he's not doing anything, he should go.
And the mic.
I'm talking in the mic.
Well, stand up and talk.
Lower the mic.
Oh, don't you start with me because he had all kinds of ideas that I should make a speech with him.
No, you said. Well, you said you go. You're making the speech. I'm making the speech. So I go. Well, then maybe we could do it together.
No, but you came up with the idea I should do the best man speech.
I said you could tackle me and take over.
No,
your
that's
speech
not
will
what
be
you
better.
said. Oh, don't
no,
lie.
I said you
now.
could tackle
Why do
me.
you lie in front of everybody for?
I can see Sal doing a real thoughtful, nice speech.
That's
and I
how.
know
That's
he will.
I want to do a thoughtful speech.
Yeah,
Believe
but
it or
after
not,
a few
I do.
drinks, he won't. The thoughtfulness will go right out the window.
Well, that's when you take over.
Well, we'll have him do it early then.
It sounds like Sal's going to toe the line here.
No,
I don't believe that for a
I'm
minute.
having such a dilemma because when I'm thinking about this speech and a lot of funny things come to mind.
Here's what's
but
going to happen. I
they're
know
too
exactly
over
how
the
it goes.
top.
I know how it goes. Sal's on his best behavior, but then he gets there that day and he drinks because he's having a good time.
Sure.
But that's not the worst part. The drinking isn't the worst part. The worst part is he gets alone with his thoughts and he goes, I know that Richard's a good friend and I should behave, but I think people expect me to be funny.
gotta
and I
deliver.
don't want to disappoint.
He's gotta entertain.
Then he drinks a couple more.
Especially if Howard shows up.
No way.
Entertainer Sal.
I'm making it perfectly clear right now.
That's what I'm going to do to him because that's what Spice Boy did to me at Bubba's wedding.
Yeah, but you being there and doing it is a little different than Howard being there and doing it because you said Howard egged you on at Jason's wedding.
Howard did. I mean, I was Howard's dancing bear at Jason's wedding. We were writing stuff in his book and drawing pictures of Gary. And
Everything
we were
but
doing
paying
shots.
attention to your wife.
Everything but that. Howard told me taking my dick and smacking in Robin's pumpkin soup for fun. And, it even got to the point where Beth was like, Sal, don't do it. Don't. And she was like, even saying to Howard, cut it out already. And so no, I'm making it perfectly clear.
Does it ever dawn on you go, you know what, Howard, I had a lot of fun, but I got to go hang out with my wife. I'm going to sit down and enjoy the wedding.
Absolutely not. I'm with it for the long haul. I mean, we're going to share a cemetery plot together. If I got a chance to smack my dick into some soup, by all means, I'm going to do it.
Honey, I could go to a wedding with you any day. I can only put my cock in Robin's soup once.
But I'm making it perfectly clear that it will be a sincere speech. There will be nothing crazy or wacky over the top. And, and that's
How
it.
come you can't look him in the eye when you say that?
I could look at him in the
Okay,
eye.
does that include, so you give the speech and that's sincere. Is there a possibility you might grab the mic at other times for some hijinks?
Let's say Ronnie grabs a mic and there's a song going
don't
on.
bring Ronnie into it.
Well, let's say hypothetically there's songs going around and stuff. Yeah, but I will never be over the top and offend anybody because I love Kristen just as much as I love Richard.
But see, the thing is, I think when you've done these things in the past, you didn't think you were offending anyone until someone
Very
told
true.
you.
Yeah, it took 6 years of this show to, pretty much hammer it
And
into
there's
my
also
skull.
a part of you that I think can't help yourself.
Right.
I think so too, and I have to watch myself. Maybe I'll have like 6 Kettle Ones instead of.
But does
7 or 8.
Richard even worry about? Is Kristen
No.
worried about anyone being over the top?
No, not at all.
So it's
Because
it's
we
kind of
hang out with
anything goes.
we hang out with Ronnie, we hang out with Sal, we hang out with High Pitch Mike, and they're all our friends. So we know how they are, and we're fine with that.
Hey, it's Gary 𝗛𝗚. On Tuesday's wrap-up show, talked to Benji about being late from coming back into the studio after a break, which Howard noticed. Also, I was pretty pissed off that Sal had bypassed me to go into the studio and sort of fucked up the flow of the show. And a listener called in and said, Gary, man, you sound angry today. And I was really pissed off because the guys weren't doing what they were supposed to be doing. So check it out and see how pissed off I actually was.
Benji can't get back into the studio after a commercial. And Benji, today, did you have like a medical appointment out in the halls, or were those guys here to shoot something for Howard TV? Can you explain what was going on?
Yeah, the doctor, Dr. Jonathan Gordon, and his
You don't have to name him every
don't plug
time.
him,
It's
just-
and his
enough
hot
already.
assistant Carly.
I just said don't fucking plug him.
Oh, okay. Well, don't.
In other words,
ignore
we
that I
don't-
said Carly and Dr. Gordon.
We don't need names. Just
Sorry.
tell us a story.
Okay.
Why were they here?
Yeah, I'd like to know. No, because I'm sort of. This goes to the next thing on the list, which is Sal bypassing me, which I'm sort of irritated that all the shit's going on that I'm unaware of that makes me look really bad to Howard.
All right, I'm sorry.
That included. So why did you need to be out there today?
The doctor was here. They were doing a behind the scenes interview with him for the show,
Right.
For the TV show, and just while he was here, there were some things I wanted to ask him about real quick about my ankle.
But it looked like you were doing shtick for TV.
Okay, but I
Well, I'm asking you the question because if there are questions you needed to ask him, it's different than you're doing shtick for TV.
No, I was concerned. Like I asked him if it doesn't hurt too much, is it a bad idea to walk around as much as I want, or should I try to keep it completely immobile?
Did you invite them up during the show purposely, hoping that maybe there'd be some.
I thought they would have fun up here.
Right, but why don't you tell me that?
Invite them up. What are you talking about?
I'm
they get up
asking.
here?
I don't know.
It was
Howard TV invited them up?
I guess so. Yeah.
So you didn't know he was going to be here?
Well, when they did an interview with me yesterday, they said, "Oh, we're doing an interview with them tomorrow."
All right.
So
Again,
I can't.
You can't get a straight answer out of
Wait,
Benji.
wait. Did I
it's very
answer?
simple. Did you know he was coming up today?
I happen to know. Yes.
Okay. Did you know he was coming up in the morning?
I happen to know that. Yeah.
Okay, great. That's what.
How did you find that out? How did you know?
Oh, I know. I didn't know it was going to be in the morning. I found that out this morning. I found out that they were yesterday. They told me when they were doing the interviews. Wait, what am I not answering, Gary?
You just it's like yes, no. I found out. It's all roundabout. I'm
Okay.
just asking a straight answer. When did you figure out they were coming in this morning?
I think this morning I was told that.
Who were you told by?
Definitely yesterday. They told me the doctor was coming up today.
Who's they?
People who work for the TV show.
Okay, so Howard TV scheduled them to come up here today.
As far as I know, yes.
Okay. Let's get someone from Howard TV down here so we can clarify. But another thing I noticed today, and I hope your ankle's getting better, I saw you had the boot off, you had it on. Were you doing some kind of physical therapy
I wanted to
thing?
show the doctor the blood has moved up my leg. There's like a big blood spot, and I didn't know if that was safe. I was concerned about that.
All right. We'll get to J.J. Abrams later in our show. But, Gary, since you touched on it, we should talk about you being bypassed. So, I mean, there's this issue with Benji, and we'll get to the root of it and see where it all came from. But
Really? You get to the root of it.
Well, we'll try. But with Sal, Howard was talking about how his favorite room in this entire place is Sal and Richard's office. And it's because that's where they do the phony phone calls, and they love going in there for prank calls, and Howard really gets a kick out of it, and he was reminiscing. And then all of a sudden, Sal pops up on the mic to play a prank that Howard loves.
I was livid the second I heard Sal in the studio doing that.
Why?
Livid. Because there was no urgency. You know, it wasn't as if, Howard, I just got this phone call, or I just did this phony phone call about Anthony Weiner, and it's so good you have to hear it, which that isn't even urgent. So Sal knows he's supposed to come to me, and he walks in, he plays it. You know, now had Sal come to me, I would have said, let me hear the call. You know what? I'll play it for Howard during the break. I don't have to play it from him. And he would have gone, but he's talking about it right now. I got it, Sal. But you know what? He's riffing on some other stuff. Let's wait till the break to play him this call. And I called Sal into my office afterwards, alone without cameras. We did the one in front of the cameras. And then without cameras, and I said, you know what? You make me look bad. I said, I'm really, like, I'm not a hard ass to you. I don't yell at you. I don't give you a lot of shit. You make it look to Howard like I have no control of the office.
Why do people bypass you? You had Sal, you had whatever this Howard TV thing is. Clearly, you weren't.
Well,
in the
that's
loop
different. The
on
Howard
that.
TV thing, they do their own thing. That they're fine to shoot their own stuff. Benji going there is a different thing. The Howard TV can do whatever they want.
All right, Ganji,
it doesn't have to affect us.
Did you invite them up here?
No. So what happened was Benji's doctor, we needed to do an interview with for the behind the scenes show. He's got limited time, so we needed to. Usually we try to do stuff in the afternoon. He needed to come up at this time.
Got it.
We used the green room to do our interviews. So yes, we booked him to come up at that time to do that. I think Benji knew he was coming up and decided to come out to say hi. And then what happened was the doctor's like, Benji had a question about his ankle. Then the doctor starts going, okay, let me see it. And he kind of did like a little bit of an exam in the green room. So I think that's what took Benji so long to get back. So I think it was like, I don't think Benji had that intent.
Right.
I think the doctor was like, let me see it. And Benji probably was like, oh, okay, let me show you. And then they were talking
so
about
the
it.
door opens, and all Howard knows is that Benji's doctor's out there, and he thinks the whole thing's a big bunch of shtick.
Right.
He doesn't know what's going on.
Because Benji didn't explain it that way.
And I would also like to know when people are coming up during the show as well. In other words, if your guy's shooting a thing with a doctor, and I got, say, J.J. Abrams in the green room across the hall,
right.
I'd like to know what's going on so it doesn't look bad to our guests.
Right. Okay. I mean, I assumed you were CC'd and looped in on that.
Well, why would you assume that?
I just assumed you were.
I wish I was.
Okay. All right.
All right, so that explains that. And though when Howard started the show again and saw Benji's chair was empty without knowing the reason why, he was pissed. I mean, he was really pissed. And Benji, you just said, sorry, I'll be there the next time.
Right.
And hopefully that's what's going to happen. Now with Sal, this has happened before on the show. Not just Sal, but other people have sort of gone. I mean, the rule is if you want to go into the studio, let Gary know. And I'd say,
you know who's a great example of that? Who is literally the perfect person is Ronnie. Ronnie always comes to me, sticks his head and goes, he's talking about this, can I go in? And I almost always say yes, and sometimes I don't. But but Ronnie always asks.
Yeah, and it's rare that you say no, or if you do say no, you give a legitimate reason why.
Yeah, and I, by the way, which I don't have to, but sometimes I'll be like, I think we're moving off that topic. And listen, Howard trusts me to keep the flow of the show of what's going outside in the office.
So having known this, Sal, why did you go in? Did you just feel like Howard was on a roll and you wanted to compliment it? What were you thinking?
I just used poor judgment. I really did.
But what were you thinking? Like, were you thinking that the call was so good
no, apparently
that you had to get it to him?
Apparently I wasn't thinking enough because I should have stopped by your office. And 99% of the time, unless Howard calls me in, I do go to Gary. In this case, I don't know. He was talking about the prank calls, the prank call room, and then he was talking about his prank calls as Fart Man. And we had a particular prank call that I thought would be real good. Now, I should have went to either Gary, which wouldn't have been a problem, or simply went to Will. 99% of the time, when Howard's discussing something, I just put up a note. I give Will the media and put up the note. I don't know why that he did it. I felt like maybe because we were somewhat of the topic of the conversation, it would be okay, but apparently it wasn't, and I do apologize to Gary.
Is it fair, Sal, saying 99% of the time he does come to you?
No, because it's 100% of the time. That's the rule.
Yeah, it's 100%. No,
I understand that he's apologizing, but he knows better.
I definitely I made the wrong call, and I got my ass chewed out for it, deservingly so. I mean, Howard gave me a nice beating as well.
Well, Howard didn't love the call that you brought in there. That was the other problem.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
And by the way, if it had gone well, I'd have the same conversation with you.
Sure.
I really would. If Howard loved the call, I'd be like, you got to run that by me because it could have gone horribly wrong.
That's right. As far as the call's concerned, what baffled me about the call itself, I mean, this is completely aside from Gary, getting to the call. We've played that call numerous times. I even have documents of the call being played and comments being made about the particular call. But again, people change, times change, attitudes change, things change.
And that's my job.
And
my job is to decide.
Gary could have filtered that out.
Right.
So.
And if I made a mistake, again, I'll always take the bullet if Howard says, why didn't you tell me about that? Hey, Howard, it was my decision.
Yeah.
But it's got to be my decision.
It also seemed like Howard was in a real flow talking about the prank calls and where he was going. And when you get in his line of sight, you better have something great if you're going to interrupt
you're like
him.
a fly going right up his nostril. I mean, it's just bad news. And that's what I was. I was that gnat. And he whacked me pretty good. I walked out with my tail between my legs.
Biggs in Boston, welcome to the wrap-up show.
Hey, what's up? Hey, Gary, you seem very fucking angry today, man.
I am. I am angry because the South thing coupled with the Benji thing makes it look to Howard like I can't control the office. So I am angry.
Yeah, it's I'm a big fan. It's almost uncomfortable.
Yeah, well, you know what? But I'm dealing with stuff like, listen, have you ever Howard didn't chew me out, by the way. I'm putting this on me. But have you ever done something where your boss just thinks you can't handle your job and you feel like shit about it? That's how I'm feeling. And I'm feeling that I feel like I don't have control. So, yeah, I'm pissed.
Obviously it makes for great radio. I just haven't seen you or heard you, I should say, like this. And I don't even know when. I can't even say the last time that you've been off this angry.
Well, I'll be better in the second half today, I promise.
On Wednesday's wrap-up show, we had a girl in here earlier in the day who was smelling her armpits. So when we got on the wrap-up show, we started smelling armpits. And Gary smelled like onions. Benji smelled like asshole. And then I smelled like the greatest ever because I was wearing my Mama deodorant. So check it out and see what it's all about.
Over to Claire Sinclair, the Playmate of the Year. And she came in, she's dating Hef's son, she's sort of, all involved. But to me, things got crazy when the armpit smelling began. Now, I guess her theory was that she said that she could see, I guess, if she'd be interested in a guy, where it would go by smelling armpits. And the people the contestants were Gary, Benji, Ronnie, Howard, JD, Tim Sabian, and who am I forgetting?
Was Ganji in there?
No, it wasn't Ganji. There was one other person in there. I forgot.
Richard.
Oh, Richard Christie. How could I forget that? And her use of adjectives, I thought, were quite interesting. JD started, and you figured, who knows where it was going to go with JD. And he did okay. But then Howard went next, and she described Howard as odorless.
A ghost.
And Howard seemed flattered by that at first until she said, and that has zero appeal. You're some kind of weirdo. And
right.
I thought he was really taken aback by that.
Yeah, anybody is when,
when you're on the shit end. This is how I played it. She said I had an onion smell, and the only thing I could think of is I leaned in so hard on her that my mouth was near her mouth, but I haven't eaten onions in weeks, so I don't know what that was. But I'm going to go. Howard was a weirdo, and Benji smelled like an asshole.
Yeah, what was
so
that
I'm the
about?
best of the worst.
Well, yeah,
in my mind,
being oniony.
Yes.
Yeah.
By the way,
was it
musty?
Richard was musty,
but she
and
seemed
gross. No, she said musty and gross.
Tim was very 80s.
Old Spice.
Old Spice.
That was so funny that Tim was old.
But Ronnie came off as what? Ronnie? What?
Mambo Man, and a little bit of BO.
But she liked it, I guess, because it was natural smelling. That's what she was saying. I think what she said about Howard, that's what I would want to go for. I would love to be odorless, and I don't know why that's. I don't know why she thinks odorless is weird, but I think that's I think you don't want to smell too much like deodorant. You don't want to smell like BO.
Are you happy with the way you were assessed in there?
Does it make a difference?
Right.
Yeah.
How does it make a difference?
Well, it affected Howard. What she had said.
It didn't affect. I mean, it affected me at the time. It was like, oh, cool. I'm one of the cool guys in the contest now. You know what I'm saying? But as far as anything else, what the fuck do I get out of it?
It's very unscientific. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go home and go, oh my God, how could I scrub the onion off my armpit?
Were you upset the way she described you as assholey?
Nah, it's cool. I actually think I smell really good today. But I haven't. I ate like tons of like garlic and shit.
I saw you when we first came. I was like the first one to come in the studio, and then I didn't. They hadn't picked you to be one of the guys until the end.
Yeah.
And I saw Benji sitting over in the seat, and he had his arms up in the end. He was smelling under his armpits.
I like the way it
to see what he smelled like.
Yeah, check me out.
No.
Come on.
No.
I'll check you out. Can I check you out?
I don't want you.
I'm so curious now. Aren't you curious to smell Gary's armpit? Like,
you want to see if he smells oniony?
Gary, I won't bullshit.
Okay. You could smell my armpit, but I'm not smelling yours.
Okay. Thanks. I mean,
be honest, Benji. How does it smell?
Yeah, Benji.
Swear on my life, it's a slightly pleasant smell. Swear on my life, but I don't know if both arms smell like that. Well,
that's the one I gave.
I use tiny bit.
I use deodorant every morning.
Tiny bit sweet.
So where would the oniony be coming from?
I don't know. I like his smell. Maybe I like onions.
Wait, smell my breath. Seriously.
Okay.
Oh, they almost
you think that's oniony?
Your breath is not 100% fresh,
right?
But it's not bad. Right. But your armpit smells better.
Yes. Your onion armpits are one thing, but how do your armpits smell like shit? I'm way more. Like she's not fucking around. She took like a step back when she smelled your armpits. How could your armpits smell that bad?
Especially after we learned that Richard Christie was willing to stick his finger in his ass and wipe his armpit.
Well, actually, Richard stuck it in his ass, put it in my armpit.
It was really weird because Richard really came and asked me that, and I'm like, I don't think that's a great idea.
That surprised you that he asked you that?
Well, the other thing too, he goes, yeah, because I could get a rash on my arm. I go, what about her?
Yeah, well, I don't think that.
Garrett, come on, smell my armpit, man. Come on.
Teddy will smell it. Teddy's
all right.
He's not doing anything.
I love how Howard.
No, I mean he's not on the board.
I love how Howard tried to turn on me though right away when she said. I actually,
hold on. So what's
Teddy's face?
Teddy, what's going on?
It smells like my 70-year-old uncle.
No, what's going on?
He smells
like what?
Like BO. He smells like an Italian hero.
Thanks.
But it's good. I don't know. It's musty.
What's funny? You've got the look of disgust on Teddy's face, coupled with the look of pride on Benji's face. But Ronnie, what were you just going to say?
She said I was okay, and that I was in contention to be one of her fuckies. If she would, because I smelled the way I smelled. But then Howard tried to turn on me right away. Like, no, she didn't. She said you smelled musty and old and. Like right away, he was like trying to turn it around on because actually I got something positive said.
Well, I don't think it was you. I think he was just trying to move it. I just think he was trying to move the needle in his direction.
By the way, do you guys
exactly? That's what I mean.
Do you guys have deodorant on today?
I do.
I do.
I don't.
Well,
I have Mambo deodorant on, dude.
Well,
seriously.
They make Mambo deodorant?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
Is that you buy it in a store? Or you're mixing it at home?
No. It's a roll-on.
Ronnie,
it's a roll-on deodorant that I don't think you can buy it separate. If you buy like a gift pack, like say you go to Macy's,
that's the throw-in,
and you buy a gift pack, it's a throw-in.
So do you have like
the whole kit?
Do you have gallons of Mambo for those little roll-on things?
No, I don't use them all.
Are you a spokesperson for Mambo?
I wish I was.
Stockholder?
I should be.
I don't think they're making it anymore.
Yeah, didn't we find out it closed down? But
no, they didn't. No, it's made by Claiborne. Okay, number one. It's not on the market in stores anymore. But you can buy it online, or you can sometimes like if you go to TJ Maxx, like one of those shithole places, they have it. Sometimes they'll buy like a truckload, probably,
right,
and they'll sell it.
Do you, I
think like Ronnie might get it from Mexico. You know what I mean? Like Great
No,
Market.
listen, I get
Great Market
does it
Mambo.
make you think when you can't find it in stores that there's something?
No, it's you can still buy it online at like all of these perfume supply places and all this nonsense. That's where I get it from.
And it's shithole places, to quote you.
Well, whatever. I mean, TJ Maxx. I mean, they buy stuff in quantity and they put it up for sale real cheap.
Did you start with the Mambo perfume and then got the deodorant, or did you get them all at once?
No, the first time I got Mambo, I got it as a gift, long time ago, just a bottle. Okay, then I really liked it. I had been in the store and I saw they had a gift set where it comes with Mambo cologne, Mambo aftershave, Mambo deodorant, and Mambo after shower gel. Or Mambo shower gel.
What about Mambo bar of soap?
No, Mambo shower gel. See, my weekend deodorant is Mambo.
Okay.
My during the week deodorant is Gillette.
Why?
Because it lasts longer. I noticed that the Mambo doesn't last as long.
When did you realize that?
Because when I started to stink.
So Gillette during the week, Mambo on the weekends.
Will had told me it was a possibility that I might be in there to get my armpits
So
smacked.
you prepare.
So I put the Mambo on.
The Ronnie
there.
sense.
And I got it down in my car. I got a little travel one. Like when I go to India this week to do the Rick's thing, I'll take that and put it in my travel bag because it's small.
Was the travel size Mambo part of the gift pack? Or
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Mambo.
So on weekends,
But sometimes in the gift pack, they give you a large one. And sometimes they give you a small one.
Do you buy these gift packs for yourself?
But they don't have the gift packs anymore. You can't get gift packs.
But did you used to buy the gift packs
No,
for
I
yourself?
got them as gifts.
I
That's what I'm
understand
telling
that,
you.
but
because people knew I liked Mambo. Like my son would buy it for me, say for Father's Day. My wife would buy it for me for my birthday.
I mean, no disrespect to Mambo, but I had never heard of the brand until you mentioned it on the show a few years ago.
Oh, it used to be in the stores all the time.
So when you put on the cologne, let's do Gillette during the week before we do Mambo on the weekend. Where do you put it? Do you spray all over?
No. We're talking about the cologne, not the deodorant.
Okay, so deodorant, you just armpits and that's
armpits.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think? I roll it on
Now,
my
what
body?
about? I don't know. What about the cologne?
That would be
The
silly.
cologne goes on my neck.
Just
That's
on
it.
your neck.
That's it.
A drop, a splash. How does it work?
During the week here, at work, so it's not too crazy.
Right.
2 sprays.
Do you do it like a chick?
But weekends?
At Indy,
Yeah.
at Rick's,
Yeah.
half a bottle probably. No. But I spray up a lot more
Get that horse smell.
Hey,
off you.
because they love it, man.
Benji, did you see
The dancer chicks, they love it. I'm telling you.
Did you
I
see
get more compliments about that shit? Go ahead, Jason. Come on, go ahead.
Benji, did you say you didn't wear deodorant today?
nah.
Do you normally not wear deodorant?
Sometimes I do.
Look, what?
I like the way I
what is
smell.
that about? Well,
Huh?
clearly you
No, I need to
good.
get some more Tom shit because I don't like to use the chemical-y shit.
Yeah, but listen, you're a sweaty guy.
Thanks.
You are, and then you sweat, and why wouldn't you wear deodorant? That's like almost like not brushing your teeth.
No, I brush my teeth.
No, but I understand what Jason's
No,
saying.
I usually wear deodorant. I didn't today.
Oh, well, you
why?
just said you usually don't.
I knew we were doing the thing today.
Yeah, but I thought that was the weirdest thing ever with that girl today. A 20-year-old girl trying to figure out how she's going to fuck a guy by smelling his armpits.
That's a lot of studies say, like, I always thought we should do this on the show. I actually pitched it once that, like, a lot of women can identify their husbands by the smell of their shirts. Like, you could give them, like, 20 shirts, and they could tell you which one was their husband.
Mine smells like Mambo.
On Thursday's wrap-up show, we talked about the message that Sal left for Gary about being sick and how it sounded a little bit shady, and then Howard called Sal shady on the show, and that really ticked him off. So we heard Sal explain himself in only the way that Sal can, and you can draw your own conclusions from that.
Sal, glad you're here and feeling better.
Shady Sal.
You've got a big.
My name is.
You've got a big gig coming up, right?
Yeah, this Saturday night in Hollywood.
And you guys are just showing up, basically.
Thank you, Jason.
That's
Coughing
what
up mayonnaise. You fat fuck.
Langford said in the news that you guys are showing up, doing like a meet and greet kind of thing.
We're doing a meet and greet, but Club Bordeaux was rented out from Clean Box Entertainment. If you go to Clean Box where you purchase your tickets, we make it perfectly clear, not to mislead anybody, that it's not a comedy show. It's a meet and greet event.
Now you do sound a little bit like your throat sounds a little bit hoarse. What was wrong? Like, did you get like a 24-hour bug or something?
I think it was like 36 hours because once 6 o'clock hit in, I couldn't get out of bed. And I told my wife, I said, look, I should call Gary now at 7 o'clock. And she says, Just barrel through it. You're going to be fine in the morning.
That's her way of saying, please don't stay home anymore.
Exactly. I said, well, I like to give Gary a head start just to make him aware of it. And what I was going to do is call Gary and say, look, if you don't see me in the morning, I'm still in bad shape. And she says, you're going to be in fine shape. Just take a shower in the morning. You'll be fine. I called up my doctor. He told me what to do. Take lots of Advil, drink lots of liquids, and just lay in bed and just fight off the bug. And that's what I did. I got up in the morning, hopped in the shower, got out. I was real woozy, and I called Gary at that time. And I thought it was my responsibility because Gary's made it clear to me. Look, get in touch with me.
Oh no, there's nothing wrong with calling me.
Oh no, and I thought I used good judgment into thoroughly explaining it. Did I over-explain it? Maybe in Howard's eyes. But Gary, as my boss, I think I had to do the right thing. But the funny thing is, what really pisses me off is that when I got off the phone in the afternoon, my wife came by. She goes, you know, the way I heard you in the morning, you know, you explained every single solitary move. She goes, it sounded so like you rehearsed it almost. And I go, you know what? You don't know how the show works. I intentionally did that to make him aware of the state I was in.
I think when you got to the part about how you had to call Brian Phelan,
I don't know why.
I think that was completely unnecessary.
I got up. I took a shower.
I agree with you there. You know.
After hearing an explanation like that, do you think Sal is sick at that point?
You know, I don't doubt that he was sick, but I think that no matter how sick you are, you need to. People always feel the need to make themselves sound sicker, so that you really can convince your bosses why you're not coming in.
Now, well, Sal, what after the over explanation, according to Howard, I mean, you sort of laughed that off, but then he said that you're awfully shady and something triggered in you.
Yeah, because that's wrong. I mean, don't call me. I wasn't shady.
Well, hold on. What does shady mean to you?
Yeah, because you've been called a lot of things, and
did you think it was racial?
No.
By the way, coming from the guy that calls you a pedophile every other week.
But I don't call John a pedophile.
When you hear the word shady, what does that conjure up in your head?
Children call him a pedophile.
What does that conjure up in your head?
Sal, that's shady.
It sure is, and I'm proud of it. I just thought it was like swarthy would be a good word.
So you did think it was racial?
No, swarthy's not a word. What's so funny, Gary?
But you think so shady, you don't like him referring to your skin color.
My skin, Gary, what the fuck is so funny?
Mark that down.
Did I say something wrong?
No. You're perfect.
I thought, it was just like...
let's go back.
Like shady, like a slimy scumbag, somebody, a manipulator. That's how I take shady. I mean, you can't, and I'm like...
But if he would have said you're an asshole, would you have gotten just as angry?
No, probably
There's something
not.
about shady that just got you.
Yeah, it's like that word gets under your skin.
Who's called you shady in your life, Sal?
Nobody really has, but... Shady's, call me an asshole, call me a scumbag, whatever you want. Howard does it all the time. He says it all the time. But Shady, he's implying that I deliberately lied. You're calling me a liar in this case. And that hurt. And it wasn't the case. And I think he knows more than anybody else. I certainly love being here. And that's why I made the effort to get up and get the fuck out of my house.
Well, after hearing that message, though, and the way you did it, it did come across as shady.
It came across that way out of respect to Gary because I thoroughly explained what I should be doing. Because one time I did not come in. I sent an email, and Gary made it perfectly clear. Listen, you call me up, you make me aware. And I did that. And did I overdo it? Yes, I did overdo it.
I didn't ask you to over-explain. One time you just didn't call me.
I didn't.
I didn't say call me and over-explain. I just said you got to let me know when you're going to be sick.
You just called Phelan, I think. You sent Phelan a text
you
message.
called an intern.
I called John Hine.
You called an intern, and you told an intern to tell me you weren't coming in. I want to just know what's going on.
Well, I assumed it was my responsibility to thoroughly explain it to you. And, you can't foul me for doing something where I was thoroughly explaining.
No, I was just
myself.
if Gary, we're not mad at you. It just sounded funny.
Well, if Gary,
I know you're not mad.
If Gary hadn't told you to do it that way, what would your phone call have been? Like, how would you?
I would never. To me, it's shady to go, "Hey, Gary, I'm sick. Goodbye." Like what? That just sounds odd. I just wanted to thoroughly explain to him what happened. This never would have happened if I didn't listen to my fucking wife, and I would have called Gary at 7:00. Everything would have been fine.
So this is your wife's fault.
Oh, yeah. In this case, it is.
You know what I'm getting? But what I'm really getting out of this whole thing is there's two people who don't want to be in the same house together so badly. You said this morning, I wanted to come in more than life. I didn't want to be home, and she doesn't want you to. She doesn't want you to stay. It's the craziest thing.
Did you have that story?
And then I'm laying in bed, and she has all her goddamn shows on TiVo.
Well, didn't she
says she's busy all day. I'm watching Nate fucking Berkus. I'm ready to blow my brains out.
Did she make you sleep in a different
I never even heard of Nate Berkus. She's got 11.
I don't know who that is.
It's Oprah's little protege guy.
I like him, actually.
Fashion designer weirdo.
Who is he?
Nate Berkus.
What does he do?
I know everything about this fucking
Tell
guy.
me.
He does. He designs furniture. He did clothing. How to set up your house. The only thing he's missing is a twat. This guy.
So how does Oprah treat him?
How does Oprah treat him?
Yeah, like
well, I
how-
said, where the fuck did this guy come from? My wife goes, this is Oprah's guy. You know, Oprah, like Dr. Oz was discovered by Oprah. This guy is the Dr. Oz of furniture and frilly shit. And so I'm watching this Nate Berkus stuff.
Do you think this Nate Berkus guy is going to succeed, Oprah?
He is successful. He's
Why? What did Oprah tap him? What is he?
Who the fuck knows what he is? He's a male Martha Stewart. That's what he is. He's a male Martha Stewart.
So how is he going to become the next Oprah then? I'm confused.
No, Oprah tapped into this guy. He's kind of like, he's very successful, and apparently at what he does, women love him. He's like the male Martha Stewart. He has this stupid show that catered to these fat soccer moms that are sitting around picking their twats all day, and he talks about rearranging your furniture and your clothing and how you should look and how you should groom yourself. Just a bunch of garbage. Anyway, I'm subjected to this during the day. Believe me, I'd much rather be here having fun and doing my work than being home. I didn't want to be home. But my wife always says, barrel through it, barrel through it. Well, let me tell you something. Last time she told me to barrel through it, I had swollen lymph nodes and 103 fever, and the doctor said she was crazy.
Sal told a great story on the air a couple of winters ago. Didn't your wife one time, because she didn't want you at home, dug out your driveway of 18 18 feet of snow just so you could go to work?
Well, my car didn't start, and she shoveled it out for me.
I thought you said today, Sal, I thought you said today that she made you sleep in a different part of the house or something?
No. I slept this time. Last time when I didn't throw up. If I would have thrown up, forget it. I would have been upstairs quarantined. That's where she opens the door and she rolls a Gatorade bottle and shuts the door. That's the most ridiculous thing.
Sal's wife is a big germ phobe.
Yes,
You've heard the stories about how he threw out the garbage one night and he came back to bed and he was infected, so she had to take the sheets off.
She takes my son Antonio out of the room. He has to sleep with Aiden and Aaron. Antonio's room's quarantined. The window's got to be cracked, even if I'm freezing to death with the chills, because the germs will circulate and go down the stairs and hurt everybody. So I have to sleep with the window cracked. She opens the door, she takes Gatorade, and she rolls it towards the bed and slams it.
And she throws did she throw a box of toilet paper or Kleenex in there?
Well, everything that I need. It's like a prisoner getting bread and water.
I don't know why I never noticed this before. Antonio, Aiden, and Aaron.
3 A's.
If you had a girl, would it be an A, like Anastasia or something?
Maybe. And I'm asshole.
Is there a reason for the A thing?
It started off with Antonio because I named him after my dad, and then she wanted to go Irish, so we went with Aiden, and then Aaron, which is Jewish. I don't know where that one came from.
When you were looking for the third,
because she spends money like
Elvis Aaron Presley,
and I feel like the beaten down husband. So,
but when you went for the third name, did you only look at A names?
No, I looked at names that kept her quiet. Like, sure, this will work. Fine, let's
Sal
go with
hates
it.
to read. He didn't make it through the A chapter.
Yeah, I didn't get to B and C.
And they're all going to go to Adelphi.
So when you're sick, how do you get out of quarantine? Because you don't know necessarily you're 100% better.
Well, in this case, she sleeps under the covers. She brought me a comforter from the closet that I have to roll myself up and cocoon myself on top of the covers because I might contaminate the inside of the bed. So I was rolled up in that way. And that was fine. I was okay with that because sometimes I go to sleep that way as well. She didn't get sick, whatever. I had this bug. I didn't throw up. It didn't freak her out that much. But she said barrel through, and I did. I woke up in the morning. I called Gary, and that's how it happened.
Joe in Carolina, you're on the wrap-up show.
Hey, guys, did anybody else catch this? Sal, you are a little shady, buddy, because you said during the show that you did throw up. And just now you just got to...
I never said I throw up. I was nauseous, but I never threw up.
That's not what you said.
In the message, did you say you threw up?
Not that I remember. I did not throw up. I was nauseous.
Because now I'm thinking about the message. I think you said you did throw up.
I got very nauseous.
Dude.
If I said, all right, fine. If I said I threw up, fine. But the point is, I don't think I did, but I said I was nauseous. Who gives a shit? It was close enough. I didn't eat and I was nauseous.
If you threw up and said you didn't, is that shady?
It could be, but I think it's just my frame of mind where I was. I could have thought about throwing up.
All right, sounds shady to me.
Mark, you're on the air.
Hey now.
Hey now.
Hey, can you put JD in control of the programming on Howard 101? I don't know who the fuck is doing it, but is doing a horrible fucking job.
Tim's the program director.
Tim, can we have him in for a little sit down and see what the fuck he's thinking about the programming?
What don't you?
Well, I mean, you interrupt the fucking programming with this Abe and Louie, whatever the fuck his name is, and then he decides, or you decide to pull off Big Black Show. I mean,
We didn't pull off Big Black Show. Those guys won't come on because
They're on
they
strike.
didn't get paid. For some reason, Sirius has people on a 60-day plan for paying them. I'm on the 60-year plan, we found out. But whatever.
all right. I mean,
Tim, you want to come in and defend who? Oh, Abe was on last night? Well, a lot of people said to us on 101, can you put on some live shows? So we put on Big Black. Well, they'll be back, those guys, as soon as they get paid.
By the way, though, if they stop working, does the 60-day cycle stop at a certain point?
I don't. You're asking the wrong guy.
Because they might have to go through this again.
Hey, Timmy.
Good morning.
What do you say, man?
Black on Black is on tonight at 8 o'clock for
there
2
you
hours.
Go. You see, you were bitching about Tim, and now it's that.
Here we go.
Go ahead. What else?
And then on the Abe Cannon show is somebody we're just trying to develop new talent and look for new things out there. And
Abe's pretty funny.
Yeah, so we're trying stuff.
Especially that guy that they got on there with the deep voice, right, Tim? What's his name?
Bass.
What Bass?
Bass.
I like him.
I don't know. I listened to the show. It sounded like a retarded version of The View.
Well.
I mean, what can I tell you?
All right, so then you tune over to 100 and listen to our replay.
All right, I mean, what about Sal and Richard? They got enough material to fill a fucking time slot.
You want to hear Sal and Richard? We'll give them a show.
Please.
All right. I guarantee there'll be complaints about that. Right? You give Sal and Richard
whatever
a show?
you do. Whatever
you do, someone's going to complain about it. Hey, by the way,
yes, sir.
You got to learn how to spell, bro.
What did I spell?
What is the word? First of all, a couple of things.
Well,
you
first of all, let me tell you.
No. This is
okay.
you.
Here, hold on a second. Here,
listen to me.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, you got to get it together. When there's a word you don't know, don't put it in an email. You understand?
Okay, which word was
Sometimes
it?
you got to choose another word.
He goes, in the past, PASSED.
Uh-oh.
All right.
Oh.
Now listen.
No, because spell check.
No,
Seriously.
that is.
No,
PAST is a word.
I know.
It's not spell check.
But literally, I'm going to show you something.
Past and past are two words that are.
I know, but when you're typing on an iPhone and you're typing away, and it's like my spell check.
Right, sure. Okay, listen to me. And
spell check won't catch that because past is spelled correctly.
And how do you spell whirlwind?
Whirlwind?
Yeah, go ahead, spell it.
WORLDWIND.
Okay.
No.
Now listen to me.
Whirlwind. Oh, I'm sorry.
What?
Huh? Go, what?
Yeah, okay. You listen. Don't use the word whirlwind.
Okay.
What
did I use
he
that?
put whirlwind in anyway?
He does.
Oh.
Listen
Why
to
are
me.
you
Okay, I'm listening.
You're a bright guy. You're
I
one of
know.
the best programmers I know.
Thank you.
But some words, when I don't know a word, I don't put it in a written
My
note.
head goes too fast.
Whirlwind.
Whirlwind.
World. WHIRL.
WHIRL.
World.
Right.
It's not
Okay.
world.
Whirl. I know. Okay. Whirl
No,
round.
you don't.
Yes,
World and whirl are two different words.
Got it. Sorry. Yes, sir. Okay, I'm going to
I'm
go
worried
back.
about. No, don't you go anywhere.
Okay. I'm going back to my thesaurus and my dictionary.
Listen, Tim is not alone. There's a lot of people out there, myself included.
I know. And spell check also.
No, that is not spell check.
Well, no.
That has nothing to do with spell check.
I want to show you an example.
I know when it's spell check. I know all about that.
Okay.
Come back here. Where are you going?
No, I gotta go.
I'm not done with you.
I got things
What am I going to do? Get over here.
I got things to do.
Come here.
Where's he doing?
You better run out and study spelling.
He always carries on with that spell check. Spell check is not going to catch a word that's spelled correctly.
I love Tim.
Actually, I'm very upset today. Did you hear about Clarence Clemens?
He had a stroke. I love Clarence. Too bad. Yeah, good dude. Really, every time he came in here, it was great. But, and when he would fawn over you, it was the greatest because you'd be, oh, thank you. You know when a chick's not into you and you're like, I want you to call me when you're in the tub. And you're like, thank you. You're the face of an angel. Thank you very much. You know. I love to cook. Oh, we'll have to make that happen in the year 2057. Poor guy never even got to cook for you. Robin's probably tearing off in her car. He almost ran out of the room. But yeah, he had been in failing health for a while.
Yeah, he's been having some trouble. They were saying last year, I guess it was, that would be his last year touring with the E Street Band. He used to sit most of the concert on stage. He had 2 hip replacements and all kinds of things were going on.
So they said he had a stroke, and I don't know what that means, but stroke,
what do you mean I don't know what that means?
I mean, I don't know if it was mild or very, very intense stroke. You know, there's all varying degrees.
Well, they said he was seriously ill.
No, you know, that sounds like in a coma kind of thing, right? I mean, I don't know.
Just says that it had a big effect.
Oh.
And we don't know what the long term of it is at this
Great
point.
guy. Robin's so cold that she would just be like, now you're a vegetable. I love vegetables. All right, I'll marry you. Poor Clarence. That sucks. You know, getting old and like something like that happening just blows. You know why? Because now he's at the mercy of like everyone, like the hospital, and
yeah, your life is turned over and put in the hands of
everyone.
other people.
I hope he's okay. I once saw a movie, a guy had a stroke. All he could do is blink one eye. Everything else, he was fucking frozen. And he wrote a whole book blinking his eye. You see this movie?
You told me about that
Holy
movie. I said, why would I want to go see that?
You know what? If you feel like hanging yourself and you're just not depressed enough, just watch this movie.
I don't know why people watch depressing things
This
like
movie,
that.
this guy had a great life. He's hanging out. He's got a girlfriend. He's got a sports car. He's got everything going for him. He's got a young kid, blah, blah, blah. Driving along. Oh, I don't feel so good. Boom. Next thing you know, he's in the hospital. All he can do is blink one eye. Everything else is completely shut down.
Yeah.
He can think complete thoughts. His mind is intact.
Mind is racing along.
Yeah, but all he can do is blink one eye. And he's all freaked out and everything, and he's locked. He can't talk. He can't do anything. Can't tell anybody anything. If he's got an itch, he can't even scratch it.
I know.
So he starts blinking, and they say to him, okay, blink once for letter A, blink twice for the letter B, and so on and so forth. Z, of course, is
oh my
26
God, 26 blinks.
Yeah.
Forget it.
This guy, so he decides to write a book. By the way, the book had I don't think it had any Z's in it. As far as I can remember. The word zebra didn't appear.
Yeah, he just stuck with the first 7 letters.
He changed it to striped horse. But this guy starts blinking. And now imagine the tedious. Like, okay, the first word. And. Or the. Here we go. Here's T.
T already is, way up there.
All right, let's go now. H. E.
Oh, thank God for E.
Wait a second. I think I made a mistake. How do I take that back? Where's my spell check? Can you imagine this guy? He's blinking away, and it gives him purpose,
Well, what else is he going to do? He's laying there all day. Might as well blink a book.
I think if he smacks his head into the wall, it means go back and delete a letter. I mean, I said, I don't even know how he's doing this. And this woman, these even with the blinking, he spelled better than Tim. We have a couple of notorious bad spellers. Who else is a bad speller around here, Gary?
Well, Sal's pretty bad.
Sal's the worst.
Yeah.
Tim could beat him in a spelling bee.
And Steve Brandano could...
oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Where did Steve go to college?
UMass Amherst.
Yeah, that's got to be an easy school then.
Sal says he's smarter than Tim.
No, Tim can beat you.
No way.
Sal, you're the worst speller I've ever seen.
Not a chance in hell, buddy.
Yeah?
Why do you always say you're smart?
Because I am.
Oh, you always run into trouble with that.
Trouble. Trouble.
Nice.
NICE.
Oh, wow.
Forensic.
Robin. SHUTUP.
Forensic.
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 I think that might be right.
It is.
Whenever Tim's ready, I'll do it.
Whirlwind.
WORLD. Oh. Whirlwind. WHIRLWIND.
He just heard you do that.
Yeah.
No.
I think it's whirlwind.
No, it's with a D.
Whirlwind.
It's wind with a D.
Yeah,
A wind
whirlwind.
whirls.
I don't know, but I would avoid that in an email. Like, I know I'm not clear on that one. I know whirl, W-H-I-R-L, but I wasn't sure if it's win or win. So you know what I do? I go, fast, F-A-S-T. I know that word. You read my books, there's no big words in them. Because what the hell? Where am I going to come up with a big word?
Why bother?
Why bother? I have a very limited vocabulary, and I stick to it. That's it. Why would I try words I don't know, especially in email? All right, we'll have a spelling bee between Sal, Steve Brandano, and Tim. Winner gets to keep his job. Sal, rendezvous. He's probably not there. Rendezvous would throw him right over the edge. That's a hard word.
Here he comes. Come on, Sal.
If he gets
Sal's going to spell rendezvous?
If he gets rendezvous, then he doesn't even have to be in the spelling bee. Rendezvous.
R-E-N-D-E-V-O-U-S. Why are you shaking? Because I want to get this right. Sal's actually, Howard, he's shaking. No, I'm all right.
He's shaking because he's in a bad marriage.
You didn't even get marriage. C-U-N-T.
Oh, wow.
Oh, boy.
Only kidding.
Yeah, no, you're not.
Marriage. I'm F-U-C-K-E-D.
All right.
Would you be shocked to find out there's a Z in rendezvous? I put a Z in there.
No, you didn't.
No, you put an S.
Yeah, R-E-N-D-E-V-O-U-Z-E.
No. All right, here's an easy one. Scissors.
S-C-I-S-S-O-R-S.
Very good.
Thank you, pal.
Rhythm.
Rhythm. R-Y. Rhythm. R-H-Y-T-H-M. Wait, rhythm. R-H-Y-T-H-M. R-H-Y-T-H-M.
All right.
Final answer.
All right.
That's wrong. No, it isn't.
No, he had it right.
Isn't there an N at the end of rhythm?
No.
No.
Jackass?
R-H-Y-T-H-M. Where's an N? Rhythm and... Fucking... Gary, you're going in the spelling bee, not Sal. No, look. Gary's looking for a computer that will somehow find an N at the end of rhythm.
Doesn't exist.
Gary, what are you thinking? Rhythm with an N.
I could swear. We had a music teacher who used to make us learn how to spell it. I could swear there was a rhythm.
That's why he's the music teacher, not the English teacher.
Idiot. G-A-R-Y. Loser. S-A-L.
Did Sal ever spell rendezvous right?
Yes.
No, he put an E. He put an E after the Z. All right. What about you got the word judgment?
Judgment's easy. J-U-D-G-E. Oh wait, J-U-D-G-E-M-E-N-T.
Nice.
A lot of people don't put the E in.
Bureau? That you can't get.
Bureau. B-U-R-E-A-U.
Awesome.
I think he got judgment wrong.
No, J-U-D-G.
G-E-M-E-N-T.
I'm going to double check with the dictionary. I went to a misspelled words place, and they leave the E out.
Yeah, it's J-U-D-G-M-E-N-T.
There's no E?
Judge. I think you leave the E out.
You know what?
It goes either
It's
way.
both ways,
It goes either way.
I spell it with an E.
I spell it with an E.
Yeah. All right, Sal. No spelling bee for you.
Get out of here.
Oh, they're arguing with each other. Hey, Sal. Give you one last one. He's got to fight. We got to get one funny one out of him. Kernel, but like the kernel of corn.
K-E-R-N-E-L. Well,
right.
Colonel is, as in Colonel Sanders is with a C, right? It
Yeah.
looks like clonal if you pronounce it.
Go ahead, let me hear you spell it.
C-O-L-O-N-E-L.
All right, an extra O, but pretty close.
Yeah.
Close enough.
There you go.
I think he spelled colonel. I think. I'm not sure what he spelled.
You held your own before with that little spelling throwdown, if you will.
Absolutely.
Are you tired of being mislabeled as the dumb guy, as the fall guy for all the, history knowledge and spelling and grammar and things like that?
Look, I don't know much about geography. Just didn't care for it. I'm not a pilot. I was making pizza as a kid. That's all I cared about. And as far as history's concerned, it's in the past. I don't remember the last shit I took. And that's how I look at that. But it doesn't mean that I am not intelligent. I'm able to spell. I could spell things. As a matter of fact, I spelled so well that I even beat him.
What do you mean?
Well, when I spelled rhythm, Gary thought there was an N in it. Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, that is stupid. That right there is stupid. An N in rhythm? R-M-T-N-H-Y-N. Rhythm. Rhythm. You know why I think it's rhythm? Because the way his tongue rolls over his teeth, he hears an N. It's rhythm, boy. Rhythm. So.
But oftentimes that's Gary's failsafe, is that when you're ripping on him for maybe some incompetency that's happened during the process of the show, he always goes to your brain power, your IQ, your alleged stupidity.
And he has a 122, and I had whatever I had. It was decent, I'm sure. But I even beat him in the spelling. Twice, as a matter of fact. There was another word, too. No, you got it wrong, but I got it right. So, yeah, I'm pretty good with my spelling. I'm pretty confident about that.
Does it fire you up a little bit when you're the constant fall guy for these types of games?
No, yeah, I mean, you know, who wants to be reminded, oh, you know what, here's a situation where we need a retard, call Sal. That doesn't really fire me up, but it was a good opportunity for me to prove that I can indeed spell. I can do a lot of things. Things that you don't know about. Things that you'll be hearing about. I could change the world, my friend.
I believe you.
One letter at a time.
You just got to get in that rhythm.
R-M-T-Y-T-H-N. Rhythm. Rhythm, wolf.
J.J. Abrams is coming in, the great film director who has a new movie out called Super 8.
Super 8.
Super 8, getting very, very good reviews and, you know, whatever.
When is he coming in?
Around 8-ish.
Okay.
Something like that. We'll talk to him. His wife's very attractive. I met her out in L.A. She came over to Jimmy's house, and then we had dinner.
You and his wife?
Yeah. I said, do you mind if I go to dinner with your wife and not you? But an extremely attractive woman.
Really?
Yes.
Why are you saying that? Like, he doesn't deserve her?
He absolutely doesn't deserve her. Look at him.
What are you talking about?
JJ's not a real good-looking guy. He knows it.
But he's very talented.
You know,
that doesn't make up for it?
Sure it does. Look at me. Look who I'm married to. Come on. I'm sure I understand that. But, yeah, JJ is hanging out with Spielberg.
Yeah, I think he must like Spielberg.
Yeah, well.
I think he must have been a big fan growing up.
Who wasn't? It's got to be pretty amazing when...
But, I mean, as a filmmaker, you know, like as a kid who wanted to make films, this was someone he admired and wanted to emulate.
Yeah, like in my life, you know, going into radio, there was no one really I could look up to or hang out with because I'm better than everyone else. Like JJ, it's great. He has Spielberg because Spielberg's a genius.
There were no radio geniuses.
Well, who would I hang out with? Cousin Brucey? Would I collaborate with him? Hey, now come on in here, young man. Let's see, help you out. What do you want to do? Well, you know, I was looking to get into radio. I was wondering, radio's great for you. We started out, Cousin Brucey, started out in America, then had to move over to Bahamas, do some Bahamian radio. Then, one great day, I met up with great man, Bob F.X. Schumann. Now, let me tell you something, Cousin Brucey was doing okay in WABC, Scott Muni, Harry Harrison, Ron Lundy, all of Then, and then I'd be like, I'm getting out of radio. If this is what it is, if I got to fucking hang out with a maniac like this, imagine if I went to one of my mentors. Who would be my mentor? Bernard Meltzer? The only guy who was any good when I was growing up was Bob Grant. That's it. I don't think he was looking to hang out with me. And then Bob Schumann, and then what else you want to know? There's a guy who loves to hear himself talk. But, you know, for JJ, it's great. He's a filmmaker, and he gets to hang out with Steven Spielberg. I'm pretty sure he goes over his house for dinner and everything.
Well, I can't imagine what it's like when you first get to meet Spielberg and he admires your work. That must be amazing.
JJ dropped a big load in his pants.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, right. It was embarrassing. Big stain in his pants. Oh, Mr. Spielberg. But it must be something. I mean, because, Spielberg, like one of the greatest filmmakers ever, and all of a sudden you're at his house and you're hanging out with him and he wants to make...
He's producing your movies.
Yeah. So tell me about yourself, JJ. Tell me how great I am, and tell me which of my films inspired you most. Oh, Mr. Spielberg, excuse this giant load in my pants.
Excuse the stench.
I just shit and dropped a seminal load in my pants. That's all right, JJ. I'm so used to it. It's just the first time the guy who directed The Godfather came over here. He dropped a load.
The guy who directed
That's
The
right.
Godfather?
Francis Ford Coppola. Even he was taken with me. No, but it must be great to be like a filmmaker, and then suddenly Spielberg gives you the... You know. In fact, with Super 8...
It's like an anointing.
What I heard is Spielberg just heard the title Super 8, and he bought the film.
Well, you know, he did that when he was a kid. He made those Super 8 films, so he completely got it, I'm sure.
Yeah. But to me, filmmaking or anything, it's about the chicks, and JJ scored himself a real humdinger. Very sexy woman. I was having dinner. I was looking her over. I had a little private conversation going with her.
Really?
Yeah. If I was single, I definitely would.
You would take his wife?
Absolutely, I would. And I bet you I could, too. I'm good at that. I'm good at taking other people's women.
Oh, my goodness.
I love it. I'm a despicable human being. Something I enjoy doing. Must have been something about me as a child where I wanted to get between my parents.
Is that an edible thing that's still going on?
Yes.
So any powerful man you want to
I want to take
his
away.
woman?
I want to take his woman. Yep. Very edible. And edible. So there it is. But very terrific. And we will see JJ in here in just a few minutes. And we'll talk with him and we'll find out how great his life is.
Hey, good morning, JJ.
Hey, how are you?
Welcome back.
Great to be back.
How's it going?
Pretty good, you?
Not too bad.
What have you been up to?
A lot of walking backwards.
Am I following you?
Yes, please. It's been my life.
Really?
For a long
Can you
time.
do this without even looking?
Yeah, it's
really
pretty crazy.
Oh, now you see. Now you're going
It's a
forward.
skill that's... yeah. I don't know if the skill can really translate into other aspects of my life, but...
Have you thought about becoming a Steadicam operator?
That's true.
They're bigger than that camera, though.
I know I'd have to adjust to the weight, but...
Where should I go?
Anywhere you'd like.
I'm good here.
So Super 8, your
Yes,
new
sir.
movie, and of course you've come back to talk to Howard. I mean, you're a huge fan of this show.
I am?
I remember you being a big fan when it
Of
came
course
out.
I am. No, I love the show. You kidding me? It's my favorite thing.
So you're well.
I always ask to be on the show. How's it going? They don't put me on the show. I'm like, what about Howard? And they're like, all right, if you want to do Howard. I'm like, what do you mean if I want to do Howard? I'm in New York. What else am I going to do here? So I'm always happy to be back.
J.J. Abrams is here. The guy's a big-time movie director.
I just saw him out there.
Yeah? Did you audition?
No.
There's J.J.
I don't know why he hasn't created an alias for me. Jennifer Garner.
J.J. Abrams. Big shot. Big shot. Go ahead, man. Big shot. Go over there. What? You acting like you don't know what to do?
I've never sat here before.
You haven't?
No, I'm always
You
been
went to the show.
No, I didn't. I did?
Yes.
You sat on the couch.
I always remember just standing right there. I get so scared when I'm here. I don't even know where I don't know where I'm sitting. I don't know where I'm standing.
What are you nervous about? After all your success, why are you nervous?
I don't know. I'm not. Now I'm much more comfortable.
Are you nervous on a movie set when you start a new movie?
Sometimes.
Yeah?
Yeah, he shit his pants when he made Super 8.
No, there are times when, like on Star Trek, where I was like, what the hell are we doing? I was like on the huge set, and I thought, this is.
Do you really know what
crazy.
you're doing?
Fucking disaster.
No, but do you really know what you're doing in the sense? Okay, you dream up the script and everything, but when it are you like a photographer? Do you understand visual? I mean, special effects movies and stuff?
You want the answer? 'Cause
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's sort of, just interrupt me the second it's boring. So interrupt me now.
Okay, go ahead.
You get there and you think, well, I think I know what I want. And then you get there and you realize that you don't really know, and you want to figure it out. So then you start to look, and sometimes you go, "There's no way to do this. That's good," and you throw away everything you thought it was going to be. And there are times, and you can't show people that you're freaked out. You got to kind of look like the director. Everyone's looking at you.
But
If
you
you're
can't
freaked out,
do
everyone's freaked out.
you can't do the other jobs on the set.
No, of course. But and luckily, I'm working with some great people. But there are times,
on a big budget film, you walk in and you're shooting about a half a page a day.
Well, you could do a few pages a day sometimes.
All right, but okay, let's say you're shooting a page a day, but it's more like a half a page a day. You got to have something in mind when you go in there and shoot it.
Yes.
Okay, so you go in, and then it's a scene that involves like a train derailing off of, it's a big special effect. Right. Don't you have to call in some guy who knows what he's doing? Like, because you can't possibly know how to do all that stuff.
Now, here's the thing, as someone who grew up, the sort of, film geek kid who loved that stuff, I was always reading about how that stuff was done. So I know enough that I can talk to those guys and say, here's how I want to do that. And then most of the time they'll say, well, what about this? And they'll propose something I wouldn't have thought of, which is great. But, even in Super 8 with the train crash, I didn't storyboard the train crash. I wanted to kind of go there and figure it out. And I knew we could figure that out.
What do you mean figure out? Figure out what angle it's going to be shot at?
Yeah, I mean, the certain things you have to plan and previs and do little cartoon versions of the scene so that everyone knows what the hell's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like what they're going to build and what we're going to do on green screen, what we're going to do live action and real.
Right.
And so you do that. But on some scenes, like the train crash, I knew it was going to be kids running and train cars flying and explosions. So I talked to the special effects guys and said, look, here's where I want to do explosions. Here's where I want the kids to be so they're safe. And then this is where we're going to figure out what the angles are going to be. And a lot of it, honestly, for the train crash was kind of seat of my pants figuring out what was going to happen on the day.
And then what do you do? Do you shoot it from every angle? Do you shoot the kids running from every angle so that when you get into the...
Yeah, how many times do you crash this train?
Well, the kids, these were kids who had never... A couple of them had never been on the set of anything, and this was like a dream for them. They were just running through explosions. They were like having the time of their lives.
Did you audition these kids?
Oh, yeah, like crazy.
And some of them were first-time actors?
Yeah, two of them had never been on the set of anything. The first week, the main kid looked at the script. When you make revisions of the script, there are those little asterisks on the sides of on the side of the script that show you where the revisions are. And the kid the first week looked at the script. He's like, "Are these stars for decoration?"
Now you like that?
I thought it was fantastic, but I also thought, holy shit, this kid doesn't know anything. He's never done any of this before. So
you had auditioned him, right?
Oh yeah, and he was really great and naturally, sort of easygoing and talented, and he could do stuff. But he didn't know.
Do the mothers come on the set with these kids?
Yeah,
they're all fucking annoying, right?
No.
I mean, be honest. Don't fucking
no.
lie to me. I'll throw you right out of here.
I'll tell you, one was.
One was,
no,
right.
Okay, no,
because they're annoying because these are mostly women who schlep their kids to these auditions and they want to live out some sort of fame through the children. Is that correct?
I'll tell you something. Most of the kids who came in who we did not even consider were kids who had exactly those parents.
Who had the stage mothers.
But here's the thing. Those kids were the kids who came in, they were like, okay, so how do you want it? And you're like, what the hell?
That's not a kid anymore.
Disaster.
Right. Yeah.
The kids who we wanted were kids who were kind of unassuming, who didn't have stage parents, like literally like this.
Who look like real kids.
Yeah, who are real kids. Like the main kid we got, he lives in Moscow, Idaho.
Right.
The kid, would never been in anything. His parents would drive him once a month to Seattle for an acting class. Like it was just like he was a kid who just wanted to learn how to do it.
Right.
So his parents were just like nice, sweet people.
So how do you find that kid? I mean, the parents schlepped him around, right?
No, what happened was because he had this little acting class, and I guess our casting directors had been looking, thousands of kids, and they sent to various states. Just they contacted people to say, look, if there's anyone in any acting class, any acting school. So this acting teacher said, well, there's this kid who comes in once a month, who drives in from Idaho.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, they sent him.
So the kid didn't even have an agent.
No, they sent a video, and he was great.
Do these kids make a lot of money from a movie like this? I mean, doesn't a movie like this wreck their lives? They get in the movie, then they're expecting some sort of career and some sort of fame, and most of them don't go anywhere, right?
Well, the thing is that they don't make a lot of money. I mean, this is like their first thing. And
what do you got to pay one of these kids? Maybe I'll make a kids movie.
Maybe you'll just hire some kids because they're cheap.
Get some shitheads to act. What do you have to pay these kids?
I'm not sure.
What does a kid make who's the lead kid in your movie?
I don't know what the number is.
Can he make $600 $600,000?
That sounds high, doesn't it?
That's high, right?
Yeah, I don't think so.
What does he make? 200?
Maybe somewhere between 1 and 2, or maybe somewhere in there. I don't know. It's not. I mean, look, to get a shot to be in a movie.
Imagine if I make a movie about with kids and illegal Mexicans. I wouldn't have to pay anything.
You'll have a $25 budget.
They'll pay you.
Go home and write me a movie about kids and illegal Mexicans, where they have to pay me to be in the movie. Please get to work on that.
No, these kids are great.
Are you spreading yourself too thin? Here's why I'm concerned about this.
What's he up to?
Okay, because Super 8 took so long to make, you had to push off Star Trek 2, which you are the director of.
How dare you?
Right, which everyone's waiting for. How far behind are you on Star Trek 2?
How far? We're probably 6 months behind.
6 months. Now, what does that mean? Have you begun principal photography?
Gee, not terms.
Have you?
Terminology.
Have you? Have you begun principal photography, which is the only word I understand?
I mean, is the script done?
Is the script done?
No, I'm not writing the script. But
well, is it done though?
No.
Oh,
but we're working on it.
Does the studio call you every day? Star Trek 2 is going to be a big money maker, big franchise. They say, listen, you're spread out too thin.
What are you doing?
Listen to this guy. He's got 2 new television series coming out this fall.
Oh.
CBS Person of Interest with lost actor Michael Emerson. He's a billionaire, developed a computer program. Don't ask. Fox's Alcatraz. You've got that sold. You just finished Super 8.
How much is he hands-on with these TV shows now?
That's
Are
right.
you just developing them and then giving them away?
Are you making a money grab, or are you being serious about all of your projects? Go ahead and
Oh, Howard. Here's the thing. Go
ahead.
Those are not shows I created. Those are shows that Bad Robot, my company's producing. So
Bad Robot.
That's the group. You know, we have 2 amazing people who run the TV stuff, and then I have my producing partner. So it's a bunch of us working with. You know, these are 2 writers, Liz Sarnoff, who worked on Lost, and Jonah Nolan, who co-wrote with his brother Chris.
So you have nothing to do with those?
Well, I helped with give notes on the script, on the story. I helped on the pilots. I gave notes on the cuts of the.
What does it mean, notes? You sit in your office, a Bad Robot, the one with all the toys, where you remain eternally youthful.
What kind of toys is he into?
You gotta come over. I'm serious. It's
almost mandatory if you're a filmmaker to prove that you still have your innocence and you're still childlike.
That's what it is.
What are his toys? Does he have like?
Tell Robin.
No.
I sat through a dinner, heard an inventory of every toy he's got in that office.
Unbelievable.
Okay, JJ, what do you have in that office? Play-Doh?
We've got there's not.
What do you have? What's important to
be
you?
Found.
What
There's a
toys?
woman making characters out of clay. I gotta say in the corner, but no, there's just like stuff that I had when I was a kid. You know, like little Twilight Zone toys and Planet of the Apes masks and just all sorts of crap that I love.
He eats in a high chair. That's how childish he is.
That's how childish he is.
JJ, in a way, I'm making a joke, but it's true. In order to be a director and be in touch with all these fantasy stories, you have to remain childlike. And in fact, your mentor, Steven Spielberg, often said that, and I feel he is no longer childlike. He threw away all his toys, didn't he?
Well, here's the thing, and we can talk about Steven in a second. The childlike thing, it's... You don't want to be necessarily childlike.
You don't sit there and play with the toys.
No.
He holds his meetings in a playpen. All the guys sit around and play with these fucking
toys. Sandbox. Okay.
Yeah, JJ.
No.
Well, he's playing with those toys. I'd like to be playing with his wife. That's some wife you've got.
Come on.
Oh man,
Look,
she's
you're talking,
something.
sir.
I know, but you've got some wife, huh?
Howard.
Wow. Hey now.
Wait, let's just one thing at a time.
We'll get to the sex.
Now you're stacking the things. Now I don't know what's going on. Where were we?
We were talking about project.
No, the childlike thing. I feel like it's an important thing. I think to feel like that sense that anything's possible. When you're a kid, the world is like you don't know what the hell the world presents, and anything is possible.
What is your favorite toy in your office? Is it a big wheel tricycle?
When you're having a problem, what do you grab?
He grabs his big wheels and he goes for a ride in L.A.
No,
what do you do? What is your favorite? What is your favorite toy?
I don't have a favorite.
Great Garloo. What do you like?
There are. Let me.
Your Harry Potter wand?
No, there's none of that stuff.
Nothing.
You got to come over and hang out. And
I want to see it.
You got to come. I've invited you.
But do you have something like that where okay, you've got a problem, you're having trouble solving it. There's one toy that's your inspirational toy.
No.
All right.
No,
now, listen to me.
I don't have that thing.
Talk to me about what it's like. Now, Steven Spielberg. Well, here, I'll back up. As a kid growing up, see, you had an advantage that most people don't have. Your father was a producer, a movie producer, right? Or television producer.
Yeah, TV movie producer, yeah.
So when you grow up in a family like that, it's almost organic. You're exposed to it as a kid. You see how films are made. Right. You understand that it's not that intimidating to be a director because you start to learn about it. You get a natural curiosity. Right. So tell me what someone has to do. They have to be in a family where this is acceptable. You have to be exposed to all this stuff at a young age.
Oh, my God, then nobody else can do this.
Well, this is what the book 10,000 Hours is about, that you've got to be doing...
But Spielberg didn't grow up like that, did he?
Yeah, right, outliers.
Yeah, here's the thing. I think that when you look at what Steven Spielberg did, and he grew up, he had access to an 8mm camera. Right. And he made movies when he was a kid. And I've seen those movies, and they were pretty good, right. and even when he was a teenager, you go, oh, this guy's got talent. And he had access to express himself and try it and go out with his friends and make these movies. And I think that you don't necessarily need, although it's obviously a huge advantage, and I am very grateful for it, to have been able to visit some sets when I was a kid. The greatest one was my dad had an office at Paramount Studios, and I got to know the guards. Whenever I'd have a day off in school, I'd go with him, and I'd go and I'd watch them rehearse like Happy Days on Laverne and Shirley and Mork and Mindy, and it was like I'd sit in the bleachers, empty bleachers.
What was your
them.
Dad's job though? Did he work on those shows?
No, he produced TV movies. Remember they used to have TV movies all the time, and that was like
what movies did he make? TV movie of the week.
Yeah, he did a lot of he did like the greatest one was Ski Lift to Death.
Say that again.
Ski Lift
to Death.
He did Ski Lift to
Don
Death?
Johnson.
Love that one.
Come on.
Was he fully shaved in that Don Johnson, or did he have that Don Johnson look?
He was fully shaved.
Right.
Yeah.
So was your father a huge success at this, or was he, let's say...
he TV movies are not frequently made anymore, but he's still, he's still doing it.
Did he write them?
No, he would produce them.
Produce them.
So he worked, he was actually one of the sort of the biggest TV movie producers.
Is your dad still alive?
Yeah.
You've outstripped him in every single way. You've surpassed him in every single way.
Does he come to you for work?
Yeah. How hard does that make you when your dad comes to you for work?
No, he's still doing his own stuff. He's still in the Hallmark Channel. He's doing TV movies now.
Does he tell you that he's proud of you? Is he?
Oh yeah, no. He's incredibly,
When you were growing up, did he treat you like you were a little shit?
And a little of that earlier would have been nice.
Yeah, right. Exactly. When you were young, and you'd say, "Dad, I want to make movies." He'd say, "Shut up, you fucking moron."
No, he wasn't like your dad, but he. No, I'm kidding. No, he wasn't like that. No, he was.
Did he yell at you for having a dream?
How dare you dream?
Did he destroy your dreams every chance he got and tell you that you were nothing and you could never be an announcer?
Wait a minute, this comes so easily.
That's right.
But he would honestly try and dissuade me from being in the business because he felt like it was impossible. Like he was the luckiest guy to have gotten to do it. Right. And there's no way you're going to succeed and be happy, and I'm always going to come to him for money the rest of his life and all, Right. So it's like, how about do anything else?
When was it you knew in your career that you had not only made it as a director, writer, producer, but I mean, where you could go to your father and finally say to him, "Listen, old man, I am better than you. I've surpassed you. You are nothing." When did you have that moment?
When did I have that moment?
Yeah.
You are nothing?
You're nothing. You're compared to me, you're a fly.
Wait, so what did I say to him?
Yeah, you said compared to me, you're a fly, I believe you said. When did you have that knowledge, that awareness that you were successful?
What happened, it was, it's ridiculous, very lucky.
Was it after Felicity?
No, honestly, what happened was I was in college, my senior year of college, and I was lucky enough to actually sell a treatment that I wrote with someone to the Disney company.
What was that treatment?
It was for a movie that was made called Taking Care of Business with Jim Belushi and Charles Grodin.
I see.
Yeah.
You wrote that with them in mind?
I wrote that with them in mind.
Yeah.
No, I did not write with them in mind. But Joe Mazurski and I wrote that, and we sold that.
And then you ended up with Charles Grodin. Well, he's a great actor. He is.
Come on. He's fantastic.
Right. And Belushi's a good man, so okay.
It was all good.
How did that work out? Was it a success?
No.
No, it wasn't. All
but
right.
we did the best we could, and it was. Look, I would have taken anything. The fact that we sold anything, that we got to get in the be in the business and be a working writer. Right. It just it was a dream, and that was my senior year of college. So I actually was lucky enough to get to sell something, and I didn't have that typical years of struggling and borrowing money thing that so many.
So the second that you sell something like that, then it's off to the races. Do you get a little office at one of these studios and you begin to write?
We had a little trailer.
Right.
On the Disney lot, and it was just the greatest thing in the history of time. And we got a discount to Disneyland. So it was like, what? Come on! At the time, I was.
And then what happens? What do you get? Felicity? You sold that series?
Then I wrote a script called Regarding Henry and sold that to Paramount. And then
that's the one with Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford, yeah.
I saw that. You wrote that yourself?
Yeah.
Look at you. That is where Harrison Ford becomes a retard. Am I correct?
Yes, the opposite of Charlie. Right?
That was the pitch.
He was smart and then he got stupid.
Is that the pitch? Do you go in and you only get a minute in an executive's office? You walk in and you say, listen, Harrison Ford, good-looking guy, has everything going on, gets hit in the head with a hammer, and he becomes a retard. Is that, how you pitch it?
Were you there at that meeting?
I would have bought that.
I just wrote the script, and that someone read it. And
when Steven Spielberg says he bought your movie Super 8, he bought into it just based on the title. Is that true, or is he horseshitting us? Is he really that irresponsible?
It's pretty much true. I called him and asked him if he would want to.
You called him?
Well, I'd gotten to know him over the years, and
You got to know him. You leave out a very important point. When you were 15 years old.
You met Steven Spielberg at 15?
No, I didn't say that. He began editing Steven Spielberg's Super 8 films for his archive. How did you get that job?
There was a Super 8 film festival that I was in. I was making all these horrible Super 8 movies, and there was a guy on a public access TV show who had a show that basically was about Super 8 movies. And I was watching that show, and I thought, I make Super 8 movies. So I called the number, and I said to the guy, hi, my name's JJ, and I make these movies. So I sent him these movies, and I was on his show. So this other guy, Matt Reeves, is watching. He sees me, and he calls. And so the guy introduces me to Matt, and Matt and I have like the same,
interests,
and we were both born in New York, moved to LA, and we were 5 years old. We had the same thing. Our dads actually knew each other. And we started, like showing each other like the different movies we made and talked about like what we wanted to do. And he ended up creating Felicity with me, Matt.
Right.
And so there was a film festival that this guy who was doing this public access TV show had in LA at the New Art Theater.
Right.
And small theater. And we had this film festival, and the LA Times wrote an article about the kids in the thing, and the article was called "The Beardless Wonders."
Right.
And
so how do you end up at Steven Spielberg's
house? There's a picture of us in the article, and I guess Steven saw the article, and he had his assistant call us.
Right.
And at the time, his assistant was Kathy Kennedy, who's one of the biggest producers in Hollywood now. And,
right.
And she asks if we'd be available and interested in repairing movies that Steven had made when he was our age. And of course, we're like, what the hell? Wow. It was insane.
So Steven had a bunch of Super 8s hanging around, and he said instead of hiring a pro, he figured to get a kid cheap, get you in there, and get you in to restore. They would trust you with his precious archives.
Yes, but it literally is, these are the original movies. There aren't copies to be made when you're making 8mm. So the truth is, he was entrusting 15-year-old strangers.
That's crazy to me.
It makes no sense whatsoever. To this day, I'm like, something fucked up.
How much did you get paid for that job? You must
$300.
$300, what, a film, or $300 for the whole summer?
No, $300 to repair both of the movies.
It was 2 movies.
Yeah.
And what were the movies? What were they like?
Firelight and Escape to Nowhere.
And they were made on Super 8?
8mm. It was actually before Super 8. It was a.
They had no sound?
There was sound.
There was sound.
Yeah.
And you repaired them. How long does it take to repair these films?
A month and a
And
bit.
what do you know about repairing a film?
Well, because he knows that these kids would know how to peel off a splice and resplice it. We had to buy regular rate editing equipment because we didn't have regular rate editing equipment.
Did he come and visit you and give you directives?
You never oversaw any of this?
Never met him.
Wow.
He never walked in and said, listen, you little set, you better just make sure you get this right? He never said that?
No, all we were doing was repairing the splices. We weren't being
amazing?
creative. But it said written and directed by Steve Spielberg.
Wow.
That was great. I'm like, Matt, we got to steal one frame.
Right.
He's like, no. I'm like, Matt, one frame. Because I was like, this was.
In other words, if you take one frame, you could blow it up and make it into a.
I don't know. I just love the idea of written and directed by Steve Spielberg. I thought we have to steal this.
Were you a photographer as a child?
No.
Do you have a good eye? Do you understand lighting? Do you understand? Are you like Spielberg stands around and waits all day for a certain sunset? Is that your thing? Do you know how to look through a lens and really capture the moment?
I do now, and I think that anyone who loves movies has an eye. I mean, we're all trained to kind of understand what we like, so we all have our own aesthetic.
But you're more of a writer.
Honestly, I've never consider myself a writer, and most people who have seen my writing probably agree. But
what do you mean you don't consider yourself a writer?
I've always thought of myself as more of a director.
But you write all these scripts.
No, I understand, and I enjoy doing it. It's fun, but
Are you a genius? I mean, most guys can either direct, but you write, you direct, you even compose the music for these shows.
But I honestly do none of it great. I do
Did
all
you
the stuff.
compose the music for Lost?
The main title is One Note.
Right.
And I won an ASCAP award for it. And I swear to God, every time I've done more than one note, I win nothing.
Are you a musician? Do you play any instruments?
Yeah, I play piano.
You play the piano. So when you compose the
well.
openings for Alias, Lost, and Fringe, you do that on the piano?
Yeah, on the keyboard.
So are you a genius? Are you a genius or not?
No.
What?
Are you a
Why?
genius?
Aren't you?
Please.
Aren't
No.
you? Have you ever texted a picture of your own penis to a teenage girl?
I have not done that.
You've never done that?
No, there's certain things I have not done.
You're not a freak or a weirdo?
I don't think I...
No, not at all. I see you as a regular guy.
Yeah.
So let me understand something. How do you become friendly with Steven Spielberg and collaborate on this?
Well, I had my first meeting with him in 1989. Jill and we were like doing meetings with people, and someone set up a meeting for, about a Roger Rabbit sequel. So go and have a meeting with him.
And why does he call on you at that point? What had you done?
We had sold that script that was getting, like, it was in pre-production at Disney, and I guess I had sold, I don't think I'd sold just that one script.
When he summons you, that's, I said in radio, there's no one who could summon me because I'm better than everyone. And
you're the guy who summons.
That's right. I am Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
Right.
But for you, your hero must have been Steven Spielberg.
Is that weird that there's no one who could summon you?
Well, I'm in radio.
What does that mean?
It's filled with mutants. I mean, what am I going to do?
But isn't it weird to be at a place where there is no summoner?
Well, yeah, because it's radio.
No, it's not.
All right, listen to me. Listen to me.
Yeah.
So Steven Spielberg is, I got to figure, like, to me, he's one of the greatest filmmakers, right?
Oh, my God, he's a hero.
So when he gives you the call and says, I need to meet with you because I'm thinking of a sequel to Roger Rabbit, you got to be beside yourself.
Losing my mind. And then...
what do you do? Do you shit your pants literally?
Well, not literally, but on the way. I remember on the way home, driving home, calling Matt. I had one of those like Wall Street cell phones, those huge cell phones, and I remember calling Matt, driving, losing my shit, just like driving, just freaking out about having met with Steven, and I remember like looking up, and I didn't know where the hell I was.
Were you nervous in the meeting?
I grew up in L.A. I didn't know where. I'd driven to some place. I was like, I have no idea where.
Where were you when you get the call?
I was nervous.
When you get the call, I got to go meet Steven Spielberg.
In your office?
Well, I remember that, because we sold that thing. I'd gotten an agent through Jill, and they called and they said that, they're looking for writers for Roger Rabbit. We didn't get the job.
Right.
But you should go in and have
meet
this
with
meeting.
him.
Yeah, so we went in.
And when you say we go in, into where? Into his private office?
Yes. It was not his private office at the time, but it was at Amblin.
Right.
Which was his, company, and it was driving through the gates, and you see E.T. on the thing, and you drive through.
Is he in there with a bunch of people?
Jaws hit. Yeah, there were like 3 other people.
3 other people there, and you walk in.
Is it like one of those boardrooms with the big tables?
Yeah, exactly. And it's all kind of like Adobe style.
Uh-huh.
So you feel like you're in a really nice...
Do you make up your mind ahead of time to call him Steve or Steven? I mean,
Mr. Spielberg.
Did you call him Mr. Spielberg? What do you do?
I'm sure that I called him, Mr. Spielberg, if anything. I probably just avoided the issue.
And then he goes, no, please, it's Steven, please. Right?
You do an amazing impersonation.
Isn't that how he talks a little bit? He's got a little something going on there, right?
It's not. What is that?
No, I don't know. It's my impression of Steven Spielberg. How many people do an impression of Steven Spielberg?
That's actually a good point.
That's right.
No, it's perfect.
So you go in there, and here you are with the great Steven Spielberg, and he asks you questions about this thing, and he doesn't give you the job. But somewhere along the line, for like a movie like Super 8, he taps you. He wants to produce your film.
He's watching you.
Yeah, how does that happen?
Well, at the end of the meeting, by the way, I say to him, like 7 years ago, I edited. He's like, no, I know you edited the movies I made. And
he knew that.
He knew the whole thing. It was,
wow.
I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
And so over the years, like I did like 2 weeks worth of like rewrite work on Casper.
Right.
So there was that.
Casper the Friendly Ghost.
Yes.
Yeah. Nice job.
Thanks. And and then
good for you. Maybe you're not a genius. Go ahead. Right. All right.
And then when they were going to do War of the Worlds, Steven and Tom Cruise and Paula Wagner come over to talk to me about writing the script for the War of the Worlds movie. And I'm about to go and direct the Lost pilot.
Right.
So I couldn't do it.
Look at you, man.
You got to turn down Steven Spielberg and
Tom Cruise. I have to
Wow.
make 2 horrible phone calls.
By the way, you are shooting Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, right?
I'm not directing that. Brad Bird is directing that. Yeah.
What are you doing on that?
I'm a producer with Tom.
Look at you, man. You must be raking in the bucks.
Oh, please.
What are you worth now? Be honest with everybody.
Radio.
No, really, what are you worth now?
I have no idea.
You're worth over $100 million.
You must open up the mailbox and just find money in it.
Don't bullshit me.
No, I swear to God.
What are you talking about?
No way. No,
Let's go over the credits.
No,
Just how much money did you make off Star Trek? The
What, are you
Star
doing
Trek
these
movie?
movies for free?
I have no idea. No.
You should do your movies for free, like I do.
It's all pro bono. It's for the
Seriously,
people.
what do you mean? If you're one of
Howard,
the
I
most
have to give
successful
back.
guys in Hollywood, aren't you?
No,
I mean, right now.
By the way, like everything, there are times when, hey, top of the world, everything's great, and then you're like, oh shit, like something comes out, a TV show or a movie that just doesn't work.
Right.
And you go, oh, and you just realize it's all just 1 gig away from going. You know what I mean? From going.
Oh, come on! I mean, you got. Let me figure this out. What you're worth. I'm gonna go right through your resume right here. All right, you got Super 8 right now. Studio.
You're going backwards.
Studio. Oh, that's true. I should go in order. Okay. All right, Felicity. I don't know what you made there, and who cares?
But you created that, right?
Hundreds of millions of dollars on Felicity.
Right. But when you have
I co-created
Lost,
with Matt.
when you have Lost, I would think that's a huge franchise. You got Fringe, right?
Yeah,
that's
on
yours.
Fox. Yeah.
You got 2 new ones coming out. You're working on Mission Impossible. You got Star Trek franchise.
You forgot regarding Henry. You're forgetting everything.
Regarding Henry, you forgot.
Regarding Henry was huge.
Oh,
Yeah.
stop.
I just got to figure you're worth a lot of money.
No,
that's all.
but whatever it is, like the truth is that when a TV show fails, it is heartbreaking, and you do think, oh my God, am I spreading myself way too thin, and
Right.
is nothing going right? And then when something
Undercovers
works,
failed, right?
big failure.
Big failure for
Big
you.
failure.
What happened? What went wrong?
I just fucked up. Honestly, I think that I didn't work on the script enough. What I was trying to do is make.
Were
a
you
show,
spread too thin?
That question again.
I could say maybe because it didn't work. If it had worked,
Right.
I would have said, obviously not. I don't know.
Are you a workaholic?
I guess I am. I
Do you
love,
spend any time with your children?
Oh my God, yeah.
You do?
What are their names? No.
No, the thing is, I take them to school every day and make their lunches and put them to bed at night, and it's not.
Sounds exhausting.
I don't work on weekends. It's like
Right.
I'm not like absentee.
Are you
dad.
always
It's,
daydreaming of stories and storylines?
It's yeah. It's not that I'm always trying to come up with them, but they're always ideas, and then ones that don't go away are the ones I tend to try and do something with.
But do you find yourself when you're in those family situations looking for material?
No, but there are times when I'll be, doing stuff, and I do find myself disconnecting sometimes because there's something that either occurs to me or, like anyone. It's like you think, oh shit, I'm worried about that thing, or you're trying to figure out a way to make a scene work that you're editing, and so I always try not to do that because I don't want to be the kind of dad that's present, not there at all.
What happens when a story like Super 8 comes into your head? What do? You keep a little book with you? Do you write it down?
What happened with Super 8 is I just thought there's a movie called Super 8 that I would go see that has to do with these kids making these movies. I had no idea what the story was, what the genre was. I just thought...
You thought of the title first.
Well, I thought of the world of it first. I thought, if they're going to probably end up being 6 or 8 kids, Super 8, I just thought there could be something about...
It was a concept.
Super 8. It was a concept.
Yeah.
And I called Steven,
With that, you said, Steven, I'm thinking of a movie with these kids who make Super 8 films.
That's all I did. And I knew, because I'd edited his movies as a kid, that he had made as a kid, I knew he'd done that. And I called him immediately, which I think even contractually was not legal.
Right.
Because I had to deal with Paramount, not with Steven. So I called Steve. I didn't even think.
Right.
And I just called him and said, would you want to produce a movie with me called Super 8? And he said yes. He got it.
He just goes, Super 8, yes.
Yeah,
That's how it works.
But he knew it was like, there was nothing. So it was about like, would you want to figure this out with me? He said yes.
You have his personal cell phone number?
I do.
You do. So you called him on his cell phone number.
At
You're
the
like
time,
a pal.
at the
Do you
time,
go
I
over
did
his
not.
house for fun?
I do. At the time,
Look
I
at
didn't.
you, man. You've arrived.
But
how often you go over to Steven Spielberg's house?
As often as he'll let me, because
Right.
it's actually kind of amazing.
He adopted black kids. Does he still have those, or did he
get
did he get rid of them?
He's got a great family.
He's
And
got a
amazing
great
kids.
family. He's an
And
amazing father.
Some of the kids are adopted. Some of the kids are not.
Does he still make movies?
What do you?
Does he
First of all,
direct anything?
He's unbelievable. The guy.
Does he direct movies anymore?
Yeah, he's got 2 movies coming out this winter. He's
Yeah.
got one's an animated movie he directed, and one is a live action called War Horse, and one's Tintin. And then he's got doing Lincoln, and he's doing this movie called Robopocalypse. He's doing he's got 4 movies.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's insane what he's got coming out. Like in the next year.
And what do you
years.
do at his house? You have a dinner or something? Have you ever slept over there?
Why did
slept
you need
over.
to sleep
No,
over?
but
He lives in town.
I don't know.
Steven, you mind if we sleep here?
Does your dad beg you to introduce him to Steven Spielberg so maybe he can get something going?
He doesn't. Oh.
Uh-huh.
No, I've introduced him. It's all
What
good.
do you do at his house? Is it parties? Like a lot of fabulous people?
We'll have a dinner. We had an amazing dinner.
Spielberg's house.
Who comes? The president?
Who's the chef?
This was a good one.
Who's the chef?
I have no idea who the chef. I don't know.
Go ahead. Who was at the party?
Who's at the party?
This is amazing.
Go ahead.
It was Mickey Rooney.
Mickey Rooney.
It was unbelievable.
I would have
Now,
left.
how did Mickey Rooney get there?
It was because I guess he had called Steven.
Mickey Rooney goes up to people's doors, knocks on them, and just walks right in, I think.
It was literally the most amazing, surreal.
Because Mickey Rooney was the #1 star back in the 40s or something.
But like for decades, like you don't
Right.
even realize. And
I realize.
And he told stories. It was almost like the Beatles. Like you think, what the hell? How could they write all these fucking every song they wrote? Like Mickey Rooney told stories. That he named Marilyn Monroe. That Mickey Mouse was named after him. That,
well, who can
that
check?
he had
Everybody's dead.
Right.
But some of these were corroborated.
What did he say about Marilyn Monroe? What did Mickey say?
But some of these were corroborated. He gave her name. Like he
Right.
told story, each one of the stories, like what? Being in the Roosevelt White House, like saving Barbara Streisand from depression or he told these every story. Like are you? Like you can't be bold enough to make those things up. It was insane.
Right. And so the evening was you and Spielberg sitting there chuckling at Mickey Rooney's story.
He sung a song at dinner.
Right.
A Christmas tree song.
Right.
Unbelievable.
Isn't it true? Is this true or false? Mickey Rooney dropped the bomb on Hiroshima. Is that true?
He wasn't even on yet. Yes.
Made the bomb and then he took it.
Tell JJ when you dropped the bomb on Hiroshima. Oh, so that's a night at Steven Spielberg.
Was that Steven?
That was my Steven impression.
No, but that was.
He doesn't like me, Steven. I've passed by him a couple of times on the
Really?
street.
Really?
Yeah, well, because I used to
He
make
doesn't
fun of
look
him.
at you?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't. I can tell he doesn't like me. Yeah, I'm not going to work on any projects with him.
Oh.
Screw him.
No.
You won't be at the Mickey Rooney dinner.
So Super 8 was the #1 movie at the box office. The studio wants it to come in at least over $150 million. Does that drive you crazy that you have this financial pressure that you have to come up with ticket buyers and the whole deal on Super 8?
It always drives me crazy. You always want to do more.
Are you still neurotic or you don't care anymore?
No, I mean I was completely on the edge of my seat.
Do you sit there and watch the box office? You have someone who calls you all
you wait
weekend?
until someone calls. And Steven, by the way, doesn't want to know anything until Sunday. Like he doesn't want.
Right.
Don't call him.
Yeah, Friday and Saturday. He doesn't want to be on the. So I'm amazed that he actually still does it.
And do you have this desire to come through for Steven? Oh, I want to be the guy who made the movie that made tons of money for Steven, Steven, and Steven every minute, Steven.
It's less about I want it to be make a respectable amount of money. I want it to do it. It's not going to be Super 8 was. Here's the thing. It's the middle of summer and we're talking about or it's summer,
right.
And we're talking about a movie starring Joel Courtney and Riley Griffiths,
right?
Called Super 8,
right?
Like that movie's not Green Lantern with Green Lantern, or
so there's pressure on you. You don't care. You like taking on a new challenge.
I like the idea that it's kind of an unexpected thing. I like the idea that it's an original idea, that it's not based on a comic book or superhero.
Right, it's something you created.
But do you have to take it to Steven and then show it to him because he's the producer?
Of course.
And how does that feel? Now you've got to show him, or is he in it the whole time?
That was scary too.
You bet.
Well, the thing that I was going to say that I've done a couple movies that were based on movie series that were based on TV shows. Like I'm thrilled to do something that's an original idea that and it owes a lot to. I just used to love those Amblin movies that in the 80s that he was involved in, whether he produced them or wrote them or directed them, and this movie was really trying to be a sort of a throwback to that,
like an E.T. and all that.
Yeah, or Poltergeist, or Goonies and Gremlins, and there was something about that kind of a genre of movie that I haven't seen in a long time. So that was why we did it. But showing it to him was terrifying.
What's his house like? Does he have cool toys?
The stuff that he has.
Does he have a replica of E.T. in his house?
No.
E.T. serving the dinner.
But wait a second, I interrupted you. You said, so showing it to Steven was terrifying.
It was terrifying.
And when he looks at it, does he sit there and go, no, you did this wrong, you did this wrong?
Do you watch him instead of the movie?
This over here drags.
Well, first of all, he had worked with me on I gave him pages of the script, he gave me notes on the script.
Yeah.
And he looked at dailies and casting tapes and dailies, and so when I sat down to show him the movie, it wasn't like he was coming to it blind, but still, it was like my heart was fucking. It was pound. I was just. I couldn't believe I was sitting there having to show him this movie, and I knew that it was, a first cut, too long, all these things. And he sat down and watched the movie, and what was amazing was, like, during the movie, there are things he can see. He knows the process so well. He can look and he can see how it's going to work. It may not be the perfect version, but he sees it, and he knows. So, like, literally during the movie, he would keep hitting me, like, that is going to be. That's a scene that's going to work.
He knows.
He knows.
He knows how the audience is going to respond.
Even though I know, as I'm watching, like, fuck, this is not there yet. He would be like, and literally, like, there was one scene where I swear to God, he got emotional. He was, I could see that he was like,
he was moved.
Tearing up, and it was one of those moments that I knew could work when we got there. The right music, the right pacing. It wasn't quite there, but the point is, he sees the best version of what something's going to be, and he was able to
Wow.
When your wife swims by the pool, does she wear a bikini or one piece?
God.
What does she wear? Honestly, I want to know. And don't give me a horseshit answer.
She's a one-piece woman.
A one piece. Why is
what
that?
about Beth?
Bikini. Why doesn't your wife wear a two-piece? She's got a terrific look.
She's a beautiful woman. She's a beautiful woman.
She will not wear a bikini.
She first of all, she grew up in Maine.
I would love to come over to your house on a hot day and sit by the pool with her, if I could.
Come to the office, look at the toys.
Yeah.
And then come over to the house on a hot day.
Yeah. That'd be a fun day.
I keep inviting you, and you never show up.
Right. Listen to me.
Yeah.
JJ, I wish you so much luck. This is week 2 of Super 8. If you haven't seen it yet, it's a big movie from J.J. Abrams. It's in theaters now. It's a collaboration between him and Steven Spielberg. Wow. That's something else. Good for you, man. What, he's got to go? What else you got? What else are you doing?
What is this TV thing?
Who even knows who you are? What is
here.
this?
He's got a TV satellite tour.
Oh.
TV satellite.
Not even Regis.
It's not even Regis.
Do I have to go?
You
That's
do.
what she's saying.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, you got your people.
I know you don't want me here. I just want to stay.
No,
I
I was happy to have you here.
We could talk to you all day.
This is my favorite thing being here.
If you want, take 2 or 3 phone calls and then leave and say, fuck it. You'll be late for the satellite.
So they'll lose the satellite time. Who cares?
All right.
Let's do a couple.
Let's go to Eric. Eric, go ahead. You're on the air.
Hey, now.
Hey, now.
Hey, JJ, great movie. I saw Super 8, but come on, man. You guys really fucked up with the end of Lost.
End of Lost.
Did you fuck up the end of Lost or not?
Did you come back for the end of Lost? No.
Here's the thing. I really loved it, but what do I know? I thought it was amazing and incredibly emotional.
Right. You were happy with it.
What was the island?
Yeah, what is the island?
Oh, God.
Answer it now. It's all over.
Get Damon back in there.
No. Hold on a second. This guy's right. God bless you, Eric. I put a lot of years in with that show.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that island? You never answered it. What is it? I want an explanation.
Can I ask you a question?
Right now?
What answer would ever satisfy that question?
Gary, lock the doors. You can't leave. Answer a question. Don't give me a doublespeak. What was the island in Lost?
The island was a real place. The island was real, and everything that you saw happen on the island happened. And it was there was a
then what was that black smoke?
But how do you describe? The question is, how do you describe magic? You know what I'm saying? There was something. What Damon and Carlton, I think, were doing at the end of the series.
Robin, do you understand this? Listen,
I was lost. I think the title was appropriate.
Do you think JJ knows what the island was?
No, he's bullshitting.
I think you're full of shit. You don't even know what the island is.
But that's the point of it. It was a place where
we were never supposed to know.
I think I don't think you ever were. But by the way, if you were supposed to know the absolute answer, you would know.
So where is it? Why can no one find it if it's a real place?
You got to get Damon here and ask him these questions.
And what about the smoke? What was that?
Did you ask Damon these very questions?
No. What is the smoke? Just tell me answer that. That shitty black smoke that happens. What is that?
This was the beauty.
Is that a being?
This was the beauty of my going off and doing Mission Impossible 3.
Yeah.
Is I left during the first season of Lost to go do that movie and then to do Star Trek. Damon and Carlton were running that show.
Okay, so you don't know the answers. The answer to Eric's question is you don't know what the island is.
I would not want to answer that question because Damon and Carlton would be able to answer it better.
Wow, what a cop-out.
So you didn't even ask.
What's the matter with you? You didn't bother to ask.
But here's the thing. They were working on the show. What am I going to do?
Take quickly. Derek, go ahead. J.J. Abrams, his movie is Super 8. It's in theaters now. It's a wild ride. Go see it, baby. Derek, go ahead.
Hey, now. Good morning, everybody. JJ, I wanted to ask you real quick, what is your best advice for a young filmmaker to get their first independent feature made?
Call Steven Spielberg because...
You know what? There is no... I'm going to answer that
I
question.
Get his number?
Derek, I'm going to answer for JJ. There's no advice. You know, everybody comes to everything on their... If someone said to me, what is your advice for someone getting into radio? I mean, I have a thought on how you could do it, but I think everybody goes their own path.
But you certainly can't tell anybody how to become you.
No.
Which is usually what they're asking.
Right, and don't forget, that's interesting. JJ comes from a family that he was immersed in this as a young man.
But can I answer the question? Do you mind?
My father was a radio engineer. That must have had something to do with something.
It had to be.
My
It had
dad
to
was
be.
a bricklayer.
See?
Yeah, and look at you.
That doesn't make the point at all. But here's the thing about what you can do now. That when I was a kid, Super 8, it always looked like shit. Like no matter what you did, no matter how hard you tried, it always looked like a Super 8 movie.
Right.
And now technology exists that could let you, you either have the camera at home, you can get it from a friend, you can buy it, you can rent it, whatever. Everyone can get their hands on equipment that actually looks as good as...
Yes, but it's the story, isn't it?
Of
and
course,
isn't that the advice to a
but
real solid advice would be...
The advice is to make the movie. Is that now you don't need anyone's opinion, you don't need anyone's permission, you don't need... All you need to do is go make it. So the advice that you can actually give people now, which I couldn't take when I was a kid... That,
go make a movie.
Go make your movie. If you want to make a movie, make it.
I just saw a movie that was shot with a still camera that had a video
The Canon
function.
5D.
Yeah,
It's
You like
unbelievable.
that. Hire that guy.
Fantastic.
That's it. You want one more question? That's it. Let's go to Dan in Philly.
Yeah, what's
Hey,
up,
now.
Howard? I know that you like all this movie stuff, but to really kiss this guy's ass because he met Steven Spielberg and all that shit.
Kissing his ass? I'm asking him about his life. It's interesting. He got to go to Steven Spielberg's house.
It's interesting to a few people.
Oh. It's not interesting to you?
Not you.
JJ, thanks a lot for coming in here and boring everyone. You ruined my show. JJ ruined my show, or I ruined it?
No, he does.
He ruined it. All right. Boy,
I'm
JJ,
sorry.
thanks a lot.
Okay, he's a director. He's accomplished and all that, and I respect that.
JJ, let me try pitching you a movie. I'm thinking of directing my first film, The Anthony Weiner Story, all shot on Super 8. What do you think? You want to back that?
I'm in.
You're in.
Can you believe that guy?
Hey, listen, not everyone's a... Oh, he's got to go?
Yeah.
Well, according to the last caller, he better get the hell out of here anyway.
Well, that's an auspicious ending.
One last call. That was a downer. Let's go to a good one. Mark, go ahead.
Hey, excellent show, guys.
See?
All right, hang up. That's it.
Yeah,
Can't get better.
I love the show. I love the TV shows. Love the work he's done. I just wondered if, and this isn't meaning derogatory at all, but did the fact that you're Jewish make any difference in getting in the business or knowing the people?
Absolutely. It's a Jewish conspiracy out there.
Of course.
JJ, they don't really evaluate you on talent. It has to do with your Judaism, right?
It's mostly about my Judaica collection.
All right. Listen. See, you always end on a positive note.
There you go.
It's okay being Jewish. You get to automatically direct big films for Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
Well, you're a lucky man to have been born into that.
Thank you very much.
C.J.J. Abrams, Super 8 in theaters now. Despite one caller's opinion, I thought you were excellent today, JJ. You didn't bore me.
I apologize to both of you. I'm
No,
so sorry.
no, you were great. What are you talking
You
about?
did a great job. And say hello to your lovely wife.
And
for
you
me.
to yours, please.
I will. And we'll be back right after these words. Super 8.
Cooking in here.
Sir,
my man.
When did you move in a
Good
kitchen?
job. That was great.
You know what? It's not out there.
No,
So
it
good
was
to see you.
wonderful.
Really?
I like you. Sorry.
You don't make me
No.
feel better. I just always want to do well for you.
You did.
All right,
I thought that was a
you did
fun
great.
It was a
conversation.
fascinating interview.
I know.
Don't listen to that
He
guy.
begged me to stay. Don't blame me. Believe me, satellite tours.
Michelle, ladies and gentlemen. Yes.
Michelle, they never use that stuff anyway. I've never once seen a satellite tour where they actually put the person on.
Right, where does that stuff
Awesome,
go?
thank you.
very much.
No, JJ, good job.
All right, JJ has to go to talk to Indiana. Work on Geek Time. We're trying.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, we're trying to get you.
Oh, great. Well, I look forward to it.
Nice to meet you.
With you. I know you guys have
Thank
stuff
you.
to do. Thank you so
No,
much.
you're the one who has to go.
Good to see you.
Thank you very much. Thanks for coming. Good to see you.
Is the book tour over?
The book tour's
JJ,
So,
so much was made about your idol Steven Spielberg by Howard. A lot of goofing, a lot
Yes.
of a lot of ribbing. Is there any chance he heard this interview, or does he have any opinion about Howard? That
I
you
don't
know
know.
of?
Not that I know of, but Howard said that he doesn't like him, which I can't imagine. Because why would I can't imagine that he wouldn't love Howard, like we all should.
What's not to love?
Have a good night.
You too, JJ.
Take care.
Like my ear was itchy, and I put my pinky finger in there, and I was like kind of swishing around, and I felt like a little new thing in there. And I said, that's got to be a tick, and now I'm dying from something.
Rocky Mountain spotted fever.
Yeah, well, why not? Can't a tick crawl into your ear? I imagine it could.
I'm sure a tick can crawl into your ear,
Yeah,
but I don't
think I have
know
that.
why it happened to you.
Gary, you get someone to examine my ear and look. You know, they get that little thing you look in?
You need an otolaryngologist.
Say again?
Otolaryngologist.
What is that?
That's
I like you whispering it almost.
ear, nose, and throat doctor.
Yeah, I just want to know that I don't have a tick in my ear.
Well, you'd need a doctor to take a look.
But I don't want to go to a doctor for that. I just want someone to come here and do it because I'm lazy.
You know what's funny? If you did go to the doctor every time you had one of these things, you'd be like that crazy person who's always in the doctor's office.
And then I go, well, what if I'm right?
Yeah, the one time out of 50,000 visits.
Good morning, doctor.
Good morning.
How are you?
Very good.
So you're here for Howard's ear.
Yes, I am.
You heard the show, and
I got the call.
the doctor is in.
The doctor is in.
Any suspicions as to what it could be related
I don't know
to?
the symptoms. You know, you got to find the symptoms first.
I know he had a bump in his ear, but that could be a number of things, I'm sure. So.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we will find out. I got the tools in the bag, and I'm ready to go.
All right, a house call.
A house call.
Studio call, really.
Yeah, getting a studio call.
Well, welcome and thanks for coming by.
Happy to be here.
Bear with me. There's a Dr. Goldberg here. Gary got him from one of the doctor channels. All I want him to do is look in my ear and tell me I don't have a tick in my ear. Now, I don't think anymore I have a tick in my ear because once I heard the doctors come in and look, I think I'm okay. But here is the doctor. Thank God. Doc is a young doctor. I like that. I like a guy who's gone through medical school. Oh, the guys are leaving anyway. Hey, Doc.
Hey, morning.
Doc, where'd you go to medical school?
I went to Albert Einstein.
That sounds very intelligent.
It does.
How did they get
It's in
his
the
name?
Bronx,
Did he
though.
have
It's
to endorse them?
Yeah, Albert Einstein College.
We
That's
call
awesome.
it Al.
What is your specialty?
Emergency medicine.
Excellent. This is what I'm looking
So
for.
you do a little of everything.
I do
You
it- I-
have to take things out of ears.
I've
sometimes.
taken many things out of ears.
Yes.
Doc, have you listen to me? This is what happened to me. Let me give you my medical history. First of all, I'm nuts. I'm a hypochondriac. I'm a neurotic.
Well, all doctors are hypochondriacs. We see bad stuff all the time. So,
So you
I can trump you on anything.
What channel are you on Sirius?
I'm on, they changed the number. We're on 81 now.
And what goes on there? You have your own show or you're with a group of doctors?
No, I have my own show. It's every Thursday. Nobody listens to me because they're all listening to you.
Good.
8 to 10, so.
Oh, I see. So you're on there and...
I'm taking calls. There's a lot of serious shows on Dr. Radio. I'm kind of the screw up at the channel. I'm the
Is
court
it all
jester.
medical or do you
It's
ever
all
talk-
medical. We take calls.
You never
we
have naked chicks?
Radio.
You can't do the naked chick thing. You can't have crazy...
No, they censor me. You know, they.
Well, absolutely. I mean, you're
Why
a doctor.
couldn't you? You're a doctor. You would be disrobing people for a reason.
Right.
Yeah, well, I can say like medical terms. Like I can say penis, but they don't want me to say cock.
Right. Yeah. Well, good. Who wants their doctor saying
That's
cock?
right.
Your cock looks very diseased. Yeah.
I was talking to the doctor in the green room, just about the ear in general, and I said, what are some of the wacky things you pulled out? He says he's pulled out fairly often cockroaches.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we have people all the time in New York.
You mean to tell me they're asleep? Let's say a cockroach will go into their
That was
ear.
just to get you to say cock. No.
Right. But cockroach will crawl into their ear, and it lives in there?
It's a cool, dark space, so they get in there and then they can't back out. I guess cockroaches.
They don't do the backup thing real well?
I don't think so. They don't go in reverse.
But people become aware of the cockroach because they can feel it moving around.
Oh, it moves, and,
Yeah.
and they come in like really uncomfortable. The cockroach is moving around, and they're miserable.
Is it possible I have a tick in my ear?
It is possible.
How would I know?
I've never seen a tick in an ear, but I looked it up. I went on the medical,
Yeah.
sites, and I found pictures from the Hong Kong Journal of Emergency Medicine about kids with ticks in their ears.
Well, I'll tell you what. Here's what happened. I was sticking my finger in my ear, my pinky, and like kind of swishing around because it itched a little bit. And when I went in there, I felt something new, something just like a little tiny, like almost like a little bit of like a hair or something sticking back. It probably is a hair. And yet I started to obsess. I said, what if a tick crawled in my ear and lives there now? And I was just feeling his face or his, balls or whatever it is that's in his,
Tick's
Yeah,
balls.
tick balls. I don't know what tick balls feel like.
But
There's not a class in medical school.
I
on that.
started to obsess. And once I found out you were coming in, I said, oh, now I don't feel it anymore. It's all gone. You see, because once the doctor's there, I
goes away.
feel safe.
Now, were you somewhere where you might have gotten a tick?
Well, there are ticks everywhere on Long Island. I mean, I live out on Long Island, so there's ticks everywhere. And
But when did you put your finger in your ear?
2 or 3 days ago, and I really jammed it in there, and I was feeling the inner ear. I was really swishing
How
around.
far can you go with a finger?
Well, my fingers and my penis are very long and thin. They're like little medical probes. So, doctor, would you grant me the favor of just taking that stupid little instrument, that ear thing, and looking in my ear?
I brought my tools with me.
Now,
I have a whole
it-
bag of tricks. I actually have the tool to remove it in case it's there.
Oh, good. What is it? Like
I'll show it to you. It's
a tweezer?
It's called an alligator forceps.
And that'll get it out of there.
Well, maybe.
All right. I'm sure I don't have anything, but who knows?
Were you lying in the grass, rolling around?
No.
Of course not.
No, I don't do that because I'm afraid of ticks.
Believe me, there's nothing in his ear.
But
a man of your stature probably has a tick checker. You probably have somebody
No,
on staff.
But I was doing a photo shoot of my wife the other day, and I was outside, and I did have my knee on the grass, and that's when I started to think the tick could have crawled up my knee onto my pants and found my ear.
The tick would have died in the journey.
It's like an athletic tick. It's leaping.
That's what ticks do. Do you know I pulled?
It sees the prize and it jumps up.
I pulled a tick off my balls.
I was looking online to find out what I was coming in for, and I looked for tick. You go to Google, you put tick Howard Stern, and I had to read about your balls.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I had the weirdest experience. I was running one day, and my running shorts were irritating my ball. I get back to take a shower. I look at my ball, and I have kind of like a purple, sort of pimply-ish looking thing. And I'm like, oh, my God, is that an STD? What the hell would I get that? I mean, I didn't know. I said, it's a pimple. I'll squeeze it off. I start to squeeze and squeeze and squeeze. Thing looks a little smaller to me. It gets bigger, this and that. Second day goes by. It hurts a little bit, and it's irritating. It's rubbing in my underwear. Finally, I start putting 2 and 2 together. Everyone knows 2 and 2 is 5. And I start looking at my balls. And I said, you know what this is? I'll bet you it's a tick. So I called Beth in the room. I said, you got to pull this out, because if I pull it out, you got to get the head out. And she gave it out. And by the way,
it was a bloody mess, I heard.
Well, I kept my hand over my actual penis because I wasn't aroused. I didn't want her to see how small it was. So all she could see was, she goes, what are you doing? It's a weird manipulation. I go, trust me, it's better this way.
It's a medical maneuver.
Yeah, pull this thing off my balls. And sure enough, like that, out comes the tick. I had a tick in my balls. So this isn't crazy.
Yeah, but at least there was a purple mark. You didn't just put your finger in.
All right, Doc, it's time for you to do what you do best from the Einstein, a graduate of Einstein, mind you. Oh, thank you. Wireless microphone.
He didn't actually meet Einstein.
Yeah, but he got into Einstein's college.
Where is that? In
I
Mexico?
like this guy. He's a good doctor. So you're one of those doctors that just works in a hospital?
I work in the emergency room.
You don't have any private practice?
No, I just...
But you want to make the big bucks?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, what are you doing?
You need an intern?
Here, take a look right now.
I
Doc, do you watch?
got to put the tools
Now,
together.
do you wash that thing off?
Yes, I do. I brought you a clean one.
Oh, thank you. Who knows?
Let me show you the alligator forceps.
Yeah, I don't want some disgusting guy was in the
Look at that.
Oh, that's the thing that'll take it out?
Yeah, if we
Excellent.
have to.
Okay. Look at that.
Let me look first.
I just learned something about
He
doctors.
loves all his tools.
No, you don't want to look at their tools because it really is upsetting.
That's the dentist.
Doc, right in
okay,
here.
Is this here?
Yeah, and I felt it in the upper part of the, like in there.
He's going to look at your whole
I don't want to
ear,
knock your
Howard.
headphones off.
No, go ahead, Doc. This guy's good. Easy, not too deep. All right. What do you see?
Nothing.
Nothing in there?
Wax.
I'm looking.
This better not be a prank call. You're not sour shoes,
It's
are
not
you?
like an attic. You can pretty much see, Doc.
You see in the upper...
Can you see a brain?
Doc, up. What do you think?
I don't see anything. I see a little wax there.
Okay. Get that thing out of there. You're killing me.
There's a little piece of wax. I don't
Is there?
think- yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. It's wax.
You got to put some of those wax drops in. You go to the pharmacy, you get some D-Brox.
So
Does
there's
he
no-
have big, thick, ugly
And then
wax?
you have somebody look again.
Robin asked, "Do I have big, thick, ugly wax?"
No.
Just a
Everyone
little
has
plug,
wax.
huh?
And you don't, and you
Everyone
don't,
has
and you don't
wax,
have to
even
clean
you,
it out.
darling. Wow.
But some people
good.
have this wax that's like a candle in their ear.
You're a pretty muscular guy for a doctor. You work out, huh?
No, I don't work.
Nothing.
He said he walked.
Let me feel your arms.
This is
Yeah,
what I
flex.
came in for?
Flex.
There's no flexing to be done.
You look like you're in shape.
He does.
How old a guy are you?
I'm 45.
You want to date Lisa G?
I'm married.
You want to date
3
Robin?
young kids. I would date Robin.
Oh,
You would.
a married man with
I
3
know my
kids,
wife's
I'll
not
date
listening.
him.
Perfect. This is the kind of guy.
Look how glamorous she is behind in the booth there.
He's not that available. You don't need a guy. How old are you?
I'm 45.
You look much younger. You look like a kid.
It's working in the ER. It keeps you in shape.
Why would you work in the ER? What can you make as a doctor in the ER? I mean,
Yeah, you're on a salary.
Yeah, you're on a salary, right?
Yeah, we're salaried. It's not all it's cracked up to be.
Yeah, I mean, to me, girls want to go out with doctors because they're going to be big earners.
I tell you, the doctor thing never worked for me at all.
What do you mean? As a getting girls?
No, it didn't.
Wow.
Wow. Is your wife hot?
She's pretty hot.
Yeah. So
I don't know why she's with me, but she's pretty hot.
Why not go into private practice and rake in major dollars?
That's very hard.
you don't
these
rake it in
days.
these days.
Yeah.
Do you ever wish you were a like an eye surgeon or something like that? Those guys make pretty.
No,
big
they're
money.
like dentists. They just, we get to do everything. So it's pretty. What we do is pretty cool. We get to see a little bit of everything.
You like being a doctor? You're sorry that's what you chose?
No, I love it.
Did you really have the calling, or you just said, "Hey, I'm really good at school, and what I'll do is I'll make a pretty good living, and it's security." Do you ever wish you were a businessman or something like that?
I only wish I was a businessman when paycheck time comes. But
Right.
I love what I do. No, I have the calling really.
Has a patient ever come on to you sexually?
We've had I got asked out by the mother of a kid who swallowed a quarter once,
Wow.
which I thought was not a good sign for the future.
Right.
But no, we have good stories about that. You would love this story. This very young, innocent intern was there, and we get the patients from Rikers Island at
Right.
Bellevue.
Yeah.
And so here's a prisoner. He's in his jumpsuit, his orange jumpsuit. He's handcuffed to the stretcher, and he had cut his own penis so he could get in.
Oh.
Wow.
And so
he could just be admitted to the hospital.
so we have people who swallow things, and so this doctor, this young, innocent, cute little doctor, has to sew up this guy's penis.
A woman?
A woman.
Yeah.
And then after the suturing, the guy decides, he decides he's going to test to see how well she sutures. So he jerks off on the wall of the ER.
Oh my God! What a disgusting man.
But they held. So this girl is like terrified. I saw her 4 years later after working in Bellevue for 4 years.
Yeah.
She would have grabbed that guy by his throat and dragged him out.
You become a hardened person.
You're not a hardened person, but you're tough to it. So you know how to deal with it.
What's the weirdest thing you ever pulled out of a guy's ass?
We had an entire rubber arm. We actually couldn't get it out. He had to go to the operating room.
Get out of here.
But the first thing I ever pulled out of a guy's ass was a carrot. And it was like a genetically engineered carrot. It was the biggest thing. Yeah.
You mean a guy comes in? Are they embarrassed at first to say, "Look, I jammed a carrot up my ass"? Do they act like, "Oh, I accidentally sat on a carrot"?
Yeah, they say I was making a salad and I slipped. Or,
Do they really?
Yeah, I had a story from when I was a resident. This one you would love because
I ran out of hands.
No, this is a guy who shows up. He was
Right.
transferred to us from another hospital.
Right.
I guess because we were the experts in pulling
And
things out.
pulling things out of people's asses.
But he was playing with his girlfriend, as the story goes, and using a screwdriver. And the screwdriver went up his butt.
Oh.
And he's like, "You have to take me to the hospital." And she was too embarrassed, so he had to call his mom.
Oh my!
I can't imagine with that phone conversation.
What a child.
Hey, Mom.
I have a screwdriver up my ass. But when a guy has a carrot up his ass, it's primarily, I would assume it's a gay thing, or maybe not. I don't know.
You don't ask. You wonder, but you don't ask.
So when does the patient? I've read stories where patients will come in and say, I have like a stomach ache. They don't even want to tell you there's something. They know there's something in their ass. They don't even want to tell you. And so you're like kind of baffled at first, like stomach ache. Okay, I can't find this. And then finally you do an exam, and then you say, "Well, sir, there's a carrot in your asshole." And then they go, "Oh, right." And that happened. I fell down while I was making a salad.
Why would you
usually
tell me
they
that
tell you.
first?
No, usually you go to the chart, you look at the chief complaint, and it says, foreign body and rectum.
Right.
That's the way we say it nicely.
Right.
But I pulled an egg out, a hard-boiled egg.
Wow. What do you do? What do you do with the egg when it comes out? Is it covered?
There's definitely a joke there, but I'm not going.
No,
there.
I mean, do you take it and just throw it out?
throw it away.
The guy doesn't say, "I want it back."
No, but there are guys who have done this before. Like the arm guys, like say what happened. He's like, "Oh, this has happened before." I was like, don't you learn from past mistakes?
A rubber arm, like
an entire like a fist arm.
Where does one get that? Is that from?
Do they sell that at the?
like a mannequin?
Isn't it
kind of like, don't you have a thing on your?
Is it a mannequin?
symbol?
Yeah. Is it a sex toy or is it a? What is it?
They're sex
Is it from
toys.
a doll?
Yeah. Some of them are sex toys. Then people just stick whatever's around the house.
As a doctor, you obliged to say, "Listen," or you have to inquire and say, "Look, how does this arm get in your ass?" Or you don't ask any questions to embarrass them?
No, you ask. Listen, we're doctors, but we're people, and we're all voyeuristic, especially in the ER. The reason we go into this is because we like to see all this bizarre stuff.
Right.
So I ask questions.
You do.
Yeah.
So when you said to the guy, "How did this arm get in your tuchus?" What was the answer?
He's like, I was playing around and I just pushed it too far. I guess it's like sucks it up.
Right. He was playing by himself.
I didn't ask him if he was playing with somebody.
Right. Wouldn't you just die rather than go to the hospital to have a guy pull an arm out of your ass?
Well, a lot of people wait they think it's going to come out, so they
Right.
sit at home and then they wait. And they're like, this is not coming out.
And so that what they do
toothpaste. I pulled a tube of toothpaste out of a guy's butt too.
And the theory behind that is that they're fiddling around with their anus, and then they go, oh, this feels good. I think I can take a little more. I can put a little more up there, and then suddenly it disappears in there, and there is no getting it out.
Yeah, we were actually talking about this on Dr. Radio.
Yeah.
And this co-host of mine, Chris McStay, who's from Louisiana, and his parents listen. They got very upset with him because he was talking about this.
Why?
Because I don't know, it wasn't professional that their son was talking about. He said that, I was like, you have to if you're in the circus, you use a safety net. Put a rope on it before you stick it in.
The guy with the arm, the arm,
arm completely disappeared in there. Nothing was sticking out.
No, we did everything we could. All
How
the
long
tricks.
is this? How long is
this arm? Is
like a foot?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was way up there.
3 feet.
It was probably a good
foot and
2
a half?
3 feet. I saw pictures from the operating.
You're saying it was probably a good 2.5 feet.
Yeah.
And when a guy walks in, does he have his pants on? And is there something protruding from his pants, or does he can't wear pants?
No, it's all in there. It's like it's inside.
It's
of you.
amazingly.
I mean, he might have been limping. I didn't see him come in.
Hey, does he shuffle in? Does he? And then what do you do medically? Do you have him get up on all fours and then spread?
It depends. First, you have him roll on his side, but then we use the special table, the gynecology table. Sometimes we put him in the stirrups.
Is there a lot
and
of
sedate people?
Is there a lot of ass smell when you do something like that?
This isn't as smelly. There are smellier things that we do.
What smell?
I'm really. The medical life seems so glamorous, doesn't it, Robin?
What smellier?
Young kids out there are like, I'm going to be a doctor now.
What is smellier than
butt pus? Butt pus is
what is butt pus?
And anytime anyone has an abscess,
like an infection.
An infection.
I know what you mean. I was telling Robin, I was so proud of myself. On my penis, there was a little. It almost looked like a pimple of some sort, and I was squeezing and squeezing this thing, not a tick or anything. I was squeezing it. This thing wouldn't pop. I said, maybe I got some kind of disease or something. I didn't know what it was, but I didn't give up. I was very committed to this thing. I took my 2 thumbs and I squeezed it so hard. It must have been a cyst. It popped and it smelled.
It's like this cheesy material.
Cheesy material. Must have been from like an ingrown hair or something.
You can have small cysts on your...
Well, when this thing popped, doctor, I felt like a doctor. I felt like I had accomplished something. And I loved that it smelled, and I loved that it was a different kind of consistency. And I don't know, I still think about it to this day, how proud I am of that moment.
I think Dr. Stern has a nice ring to it. It's never too late.
You would have thought I'd given birth. I was so proud of this thing that I had taken care of myself, that I didn't need to run to the doctor, that I had the guts to squeeze this thing so hard that my penis almost fell off. I loved it. I love being a medical man. Well, let me tell you something, doctor. Where'd you grow up?
I grew up in New York.
New York. And you were the most brilliant student? Were you the valedictorian of your high school?
No, I was a bit of a... I was good at some things, and I was a bit of a screw-up also.
What'd you get on your SATs? You must have been a brilliant student. Anybody who goes to medical school is brilliant.
SATs? I didn't... 1350, I think.
That's amazing, because... 1350?
That's not great.
That's not that great.
What kind of doctor are you?
Where's this Albert Einstein school?
You sure
it's in the Bronx.
You sure I don't have a tick in my ear?
It's in the Bronx.
Well, listen, when they built it, they didn't know it was going to be the Bronx. They thought there was an up-and-coming area. So,
this is
where'd you go undergrad?
I went to University of Michigan.
That's not that great.
It's a pretty good school. Damn, it's a tough crowd here. No, then I did my residency out in California at UCLA.
And that must have been fun.
That was a fun time, yeah. And now I'm back here in New York.
Well, Doc, thank God you looked in my ear.
Well, I'm always here for you.
That's what we need. I need a full-time doctor.
Well, now you know where to go.
It's a little early in the morning to get here, but I could be here every day.
Do you go do your show live now?
No, it's Thursday, so I'm all dressed to go to work.
What day are you on?
I'm on Thursdays from 8 to 10. You want to call in tomorrow?
So if I ever need a doctor, on Thursday from 8 to 10, you're here in the building.
No, I'm over at NYU. We're over at the NYU Langone Medical Center. We're in the lobby. We have our own studio.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They don't let me in this building.
Oh, so you do
my pictures on the wall.
You do it remotely. You do it through a line of some kind.
Yeah, they have a whole studio set up for us.
ISDN line. Yeah. Oh wow. No kidding.
Yeah, you should get out. There's a studio out there.
I didn't know. I thought everyone did their show here.
No.
Who would know that?
Well, you can come on over.
Would you mind? This is, and if you want to say no, but would you do a quick colonoscopy on me?
You don't want me to do a colonoscopy.
That's not your thing, huh?
No, that's not my thing.
No, I got a guy who does.
I will admit, stay away from the things I don't know.
All right. Well, you're a good man. I like it. Now, listen. Let me give you a plug.
All right, give me a plug.
All right. Dr. Goldberg, Dr. Billy Goldberg.
Yeah, you can call me Dr. Billy.
Dr. Billy. Nah, I'd prefer to call you Dr. Goldberg.
Dr. Goldberg is the professional. When I'm on the air, I can be Dr. Billy.
Dr. Billy. That's supposed to relax me. Dr.
Right,
Billy.
yeah.
I get you. Right.
I don't.
Familiar.
Yeah.
All right. Dr. Billy is an emergency room physician at Bellevue Hospital.
Whoa.
Go over it. Imagine what he sees there.
He's seen it all.
And NYU.
And you're a professor at NYU School of Medicine. Look at
I
you.
don't screw around.
Poor guy's got to hold 2 jobs. They don't pay him.
Very true.
I'm sure. Does Sirius give you any money for your show?
They basically give me a cup of coffee and a pat on the back.
Have you ever gone in and asked for a raise? I mean, they're not going to.
Yeah, Dr.
I
Billy's
wanted
pulling
to ask
in
your
a lot
advice
of,
on that.
listeners?
What are they paying you for the show? Do you know?
They pay me like $250 for the show.
$250.
Yeah.
I mean, you could make that just seeing a couple of patients on the side.
I would make more than that in the 2 hours working in the ER.
But it gives you an outlet.
I'm going to get in trouble for even saying that. See, you're.
No, you won't. $250. Boy, I tell you, a lot of sports around here. Well, they pay you, right? Me, I'm in the middle of suing them, trying to get some of my dough. But,
And Big Black couldn't get his money, so you're getting your money?
have you ever gone in and say, maybe I could get $300 a show?
I've thought about it. I just know what they're going to say to me.
You can say, look, we're going to go
I don't have the leverage that you have.
But you like doing the show so much, you're willing to not ask for a raise.
I know I'm going to ask for a raise.
Has your wife said to you, listen, Dr.
What
Billy.
are you doing?
Yeah. What are you doing? Let's go in and get a raise already.
She's going to run away with somebody who has a fancy studio like this. I'm going to have to get a raise.
Is your wife one of those wives that like goes,
the doctor?
The doctor. Does she call you the doctor and the doctor?
Yeah, not exactly.
Yeah, she does. She does that. All doctors' wives do. They like if someone. I know good doctors. The wife goes, look at this envelope. It's addressed to Mr. and Mrs. It's Dr. and Mrs.
Everyone still thinks this happens. Doctors make a lot of money. We play golf, and we have wives who call us the doctor.
You don't sound like you're doing very well. You get the $250 from the Sirius.
I'm not doing great.
You're not doing great.
It's an expensive city.
Can
Got 3 young kids, 3 kids under 5.
Can you pull in? I'm going to guess your annual salary with the Sirius $250 a week.
You're counting that.
$250,000 a year.
Less. Close though.
And that ain't, people.
You're
probably,
pretty good.
Yeah, people.
How much do I weigh?
You? $150.
Oh, he's good.
What do you weigh?
155.
Yeah, I size you up.
It's like the circus here.
What else you want to know? Sit on Robin's face. She can tell you what you ate for dinner.
Oh, stop.
I'm not kidding. But
on that note,
are you good in bed because you know where the clitoris is? I still haven't found it.
They don't teach you that in medical school. They don't teach you any of the important stuff.
Anything practical is
it's
off
true.
limits.
Dr. Goldberg is the author of 2 best-selling books.
Really?
Why Do Men Have Nipples? Oh, that's you?
That's me.
I own that book.
See?
I read that book.
You didn't have me on the show for that book.
He's the author of Why Do Men Have Nipples? Oh, yeah, and I read that you and the other doctor wrote it, and you have the whole introduction where you guys asked each other silly questions.
Yeah,
and
he's not really a doctor, but
it's a great book.
It was fun. We had a blast doing that.
Yeah, I love that thing.
Yeah, it's my friend Mark. He's a writer, and
oh, you're the man, and you just examined me. Look at that.
He had a thing in your ear.
I didn't know that.
I almost got you with the alligator forceps.
You're also the author of Why Do Men Fall Asleep After Sex?
That's true.
Oh, I've heard of both these books.
Check out Dr. Billy Goldberg's Emergency Medicine Show every Thursday morning from 8 to 10 on Sirius XM's Doctors Radio, Channel 81. Well, there you go. Hey, thanks, Doc.
Happy to be here. I'm always here for you, just down the block.
Anybody else need anything looked at? Gary, you're disgusting. What do you have on you? Have the doc look at your feet.
Doesn't he have kidney stones and shit?
Don't you have kidney stones and disgusting
No,
feet?
my kidney stones are all done.
What about
I got my
your feet?
citrus levels up. My feet are almost cured. Everything's good. I got a big bump on the bottom of my foot, but you're not a podiatrist. You're a doctor.
Well, that's the same thing.
Some people would argue that podiatrists aren't doctors.
Exactly. That's right.
What's on the bottom of his foot now? Now he's got a big bump.
His feet are and then he comes to my house and he walks around with those feet. And
It's a calcium deposit. It's just a big bump.
He's like a big ape.
Things are bursting out of him.
I assume men fall asleep after sex because they don't want to talk to anybody, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that seems interesting, doesn't it? What is this? One of Richard Christie's balls hangs lower than the other. Is that normal? That is normal, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's one ball hangs
Yeah,
lower.
it's not supposed to be even.
That's
There's
right.
certain things that aren't supposed to be perfect.
Hey, Gary, your balls aren't. I
never looked.
Yes, you have. You never looked at your own balls?
How do you know exactly where they hang? You have like one of those levels that you...
I have a leveler, yeah.
I've looked at my balls, but I've never stood in front of a mirror to see how they hang.
Hey, Gary has giant teeth. Is there anything you can do for that, Doc? Okay.
You know, that calcium with him has run amok. Now it's coming out of his feet.
I think it's one of his teeth ran right through his foot.
Hey, doctor, can you do anything about that calcium deposit in Howard's throat?
Oh, what is that? Huh? You know what? You just made a classic error. I'll tell you what. As much fun as I make of you, to make fun of your boss, it is never going to go well for you.
Oh, you make fun of me day and night.
Yeah, but you're better off not bringing up any of my faults.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. You don't have to be sorry. I'm giving everyone a tip.
So now
if your boss is an asshole and he makes fun of you all day, just sit there. As soon as you... Now that's going to stick with me all day.
All right.
I'm going to fuck you up over it, too. I'll find a way.
As opposed to what you've been doing?
Yeah, it's going to be worse for you today. Just because you gave me a little jab. It's better not to fight back. Just accept it. Either quit or just don't fight back.
Yeah, but what other bosses are on the radio? In other words, we have a different relationship.
All right. Very good. Doctor, am I right?
I'm staying out of this one. I'm not touching it.
All right. Now, Richard wants a hernia check.
Oh, God. He wants this man
turn your head
touch
and
him.
cough?
Yeah, he just wants a man to touch him.
Doc, I want to thank you so much
Well, it's my pleasure.
for the examination. I appreciate it. Now I feel much better that I don't have... What are you doing? What do you want from me?
Our guest is here.
All right, calm down. I see you. He gives me a...
What, I'm not a guest?
No, he goes like this.
That's his wrap-up
He gave me a
sign.
wrap-up sign. I think he's on
No,
television.
I'm saying that we have...
I'm wrapping
we have
up.
a limited amount of time.
I'm wrapping up.
Did you know that?
I told you, don't make fun of me. It gets me riled up.
Did you know we have a limited amount of time?
Yes. Yeah.
You know what time she has to be out?
I would guess she probably has a half hour.
45 minutes.
Okay. You want to examine Tatum O'Neal?
I knew somebody important was coming in because
I
they're
want
just
to
dragging me out the door.
Let's get her naked and examine her. She won't go for it. All right. Dr. Billy Goldberg, great guy. Get that book, by the way. Why Do Men Have Nipples? You'll love it. It's so much fun. It answers every question. Doctor will listen to you on Sirius XM on Thursdays.
Thank you.
And good luck getting more money out of this place.
I guess you better write another book.
It's
I'm going to call you for
it's-
advice.
It's easier pulling an arm out of someone's ass than getting money out of this place.
Might have to do both at the same time.
And please, privately examine Gary. There's something wrong with him, I'm telling you. All right.
All right, thanks.
All right, thank you very much. That's the great Dr. Billy Goldberg.
Doctor.
Yes.
So Howard's fine.
Howard's fine.
Is this a case of mild to medium?
Overwhelming hypochondria?
Yeah, I didn't want to come out and say it.
You just did. No, he's fine. I mean, he probably just has a little wax in his ear. If I saw him in the ER, I would give him some wax removing drops, or hydrogen peroxide. You could put in dilute hydrogen peroxide, and then I'd take another look, and that wax would probably be gone. But I didn't see any tick. Sometimes the weird thing is it would freak him out. But sometimes wax can look like a tick, but this was not a tick.
That's all you saw. There's not like a pimple or anything in there that he could.
I thought he was going to have like a little ear zit, and then it would have been, all hell would have broken loose with him trying to pop it.
Right, exactly. He often does this. He gets something stuck in his head and he obsesses over it. Do you see that a lot in the ER, that people are overreacting to a very small thing?
We see, I should have told Howard this story, but we see some crazy stuff. So people have psychiatric disease and they obsess over things. I saw a woman who picked a hole in her cheek until down to her jawbone, so you could see her jawbone. But people, we have hypochondriacs who come in with lists of things that are wrong with them, and you have to spend a lot of time trying to convince them that it's not something serious. But listen, I'm a hypochondriac, so what am I saying?
I think we all have a little bit of that. So at the end of the day, he did the right thing by consulting with the doctor.
If you have a doubt, you go see the doctor. If you think you have something in your ear, you go to see an ear doctor. Or you come, ideally you don't come into the ER,
Right.
or you basically just call somebody to come to your studio. It's the best.
Well, that's a special
That's a
advantage. And it seems like this is going to be you're going to be his go-to guy, since you're here every Thursday. And
I'm not here, so I'm down the street. He's going to have to come to me. I'm going to draw the line. I'm going to say you have to come to me.
No more house
I don't think
calls.
that's going to work.
Yeah.
No, I'm always here for him.
Well, thank you for keeping the King of All Media healthy.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Hi, Tatum.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How's it going?
Good.
Welcome, welcome.
Thank you. Is Howard going to be nice to me?
I think you will.
Okay.
You've got your new memoir out. You've got a lot to talk about.
I do.
Here, just
Is that my room?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
So you've got a lot of good stories, or interesting stories. I don't know if they're from your past and everything.
I sure do.
So I think that
I don't have a boring story or anything.
No, and that usually leads to good conversation with
Yeah,
Howard.
exactly. There's lots to draw from. There's not a bland life. It's not vanilla.
Definitely not. Are you looking forward to this? Are you a fan of Howard?
I am. I'm a huge fan.
Cool.
Yes.
All right, well, I'll let you get inside and talk to Howard.
Peace.
Heyo. All right, Tatum O'Neal. Yeah.
Just 1 second. Did you realize that the girl with the wings in X-Men First Class is Lenny Kravitz's daughter?
No, I did not.
That's Lisa Bonet and Lenny Kravitz's daughter.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Hey, Tatum.
and there's Tatum O'Neal.
Looking beautiful.
She looks a little afraid.
You look afraid. How could you
I'm
be?
not afraid. You're going to take my Oscar and stick it up your ass? I should have brought it.
No, because I had a doctor here. He was saying that people come into the emergency room with things up their ass.
Like Oscars?
No, like Oscar would be small. A complete rubber arm, a 3-foot-long rubber arm, it completely
disappeared. Yeah.
But what were they doing with that? Like, ooh,
Well,
I'm
they're
not supposed to
they're
touch
never clear about that. It's
Is that like I had an itch, or is that two boys? What is that?
It's funny, I always say you've done it all, Tatum, and really you haven't, because
I haven't done anything. I'm just starting.
You know what? I think of you. I think. Do you think some people were not meant to have children? Your father is the most horrendous. From what I've read about him and what you've written.
Thanks. I know he's not going to listen to this, so I'm cool.
Good. He's the most horrendous human being on the planet. And
you and Dennis Leary think that, by the way.
Well, by the way, so do you, but you're not facing it.
I am facing it.
You know what's amazing? When I read about your life, and now you've got a reality show, and I want to talk.
It's not really a reality show. It's different than that, but I'll explain what it is.
Okay. When I read about your life, I think that here's a guy who just wasn't meant to have children. There's no father instinct. Any guy who takes his daughter aside and says, by the way, if you need to lose weight, take some cocaine. Or, for example...
This isn't good advice.
You had slashed your wrists at one point, and your father turns to you and goes, you didn't do it the right way. You're supposed to cut this way. I mean, this is a despicable, horrible man. And by the way, I loved him in...
we all loved him. We all loved him in Paper Moon and in Love Story and in What's Up Doc and Wild Rovers. And
the movie I loved him in was Barry Lyndon.
Yeah.
Thought he was brilliant. But,
well, he was a great actor.
Well, he probably still is. You know, he's not a bad actor. And you know what? Let's not kill him, because he lives with himself, and he has to live with himself.
But
and
here's the question:
I don't live in his shoes, so I've never done anything to anyone the way he has, so I don't have that experience.
Isn't it amazing? The worse the father, the more the child seeks his love.
Or the better the daughter. How about the worse the father, the better the daughter?
Well, you make a good point.
I mean, you're a good father. You have great relationships with your daughters, no?
I try.
I mean, you try.
I try my hardest.
And that's all you can do.
I try to be supportive.
I think he's certainly learning through the last decade of going through having me write A Paper Life and then encouraging him to do the show. And the reason, truthfully, that we're doing the show, or I chose to do the show, is that in a way... he would never have to admit the way he behaves, because he behaves on camera that way.
Right.
So
he doesn't even know the difference.
Exactly. So in a way, he speaks for himself.
It's funny. You're doing a TV show on the Oprah Network,
right?
Which is the story of you and trying to sort of get along with your father,
or just have a conversation.
And to me, it's funny, because I talk about this with Robin all the time. Oprah, when she started the network, was like, I started watching reality television when I was watching TV, and it was disgusting, and I want something better for my network, and blah, 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 blah. What's she doing? She's doing
But
Chaz.
She's trying to do different things, and that's a documentary, and I think that's talking about transgender, and that's good. That's pushing the envelope.
It is good, but it's still reality television,
well,
and she's doing what she said she wasn't going to do.
I don't know. You try running a network. I don't know. It must be pretty difficult.
Did you meet with Oprah when you decided to do this?
No.
Not at all.
Not even
Someone
once.
approached you and said you and your father would be great to follow around with a camera.
Someone approached us, exactly, and then because generally we actually kind of get along and we're kind of funny.
Right.
But they thought, yeah, it would be kind of funny to see us walk around or whatever. And I started thinking, I thought, what would be interesting is to sort of have him be mic'd and that stuff to come out of his mouth. Then I also could sort of say stuff, and I didn't have to think about what he was going to say or what he was going to do because he was mic'd. So
yeah, you know he's going to be good television.
He's really good television.
There's no question about it.
But I hate reality television. So
You do?
I hate it.
I love it.
I hate it.
I love it.
Okay, I hate it.
I love it.
Which ones do you love? Which ones?
I watched The Bachelorette. I love it.
What about Beverly Hills Housewives?
I love it.
Everything?
Beverly Hills Housewives is one of the best shows
He
ever.
thinks that's the best of the housewife genre.
Absolutely.
So do you love Bravo the best?
I love Bravo, Andy Cohen, all that.
What about like the Duchess? Are you going to watch that?
No, I'm not going to watch the Duchess. I don't care about her. I don't care. I'm watching You and Your Father. That's for goddamn sure. I guarantee I'll be entering it up about that. Here's my point.
Okay.
The worse the father. Like, you described that you would crawl into bed to sleep next to your father.
Yeah.
Even if he was with women.
Well, because I didn't know anybody. He was everything, like he's all I knew.
But how freaky is that? He's in bed.
Kind of weird, yeah. For sure, I wouldn't do it.
Right. He's in bed with different women. And I'm talking about some of Hollywood's biggest starlets.
Yeah, like Ursula. I mean, back when the European group, Bianca, Ursula.
If I could have banged Ursula Andress.
She was hot.
So you're telling me you'd walk into the bedroom. Would your father be having sex with Ursula Andress?
No. It wasn't Mackenzie Phillips. It wasn't that story.
The sex was over, and you would crawl into bed just to be near him.
Usually, I always wanted to I thought, I didn't understand the difference before I turned about 13 or 12. I didn't understand the difference between what was, my attachment to him and what was his. I think he didn't understand that treating me like a daughter, so he treated me just the way he treats everybody.
Like a friend.
But not sexually. I just need to make that really clear.
You never had sex with your father?
And never in my life.
Do you think you're blocking it?
No.
Do you think that's your pain?
I swear on that Oscar up your ass that I have never had sex with my father ever in my life.
Could it have happened by accident?
Not even kissed, not even any kind of rubbing, nothing.
Well, how about when you were getting... But although you described something very freaky happened to you.
Okay. I've had weird, freaky things, but not with him.
You went to the funeral of, I think, Farrah Fawcett Majors. And
I think the Majors part was off by then.
You went to the funeral of Farrah Fawcett.
Right.
You had been estranged from your father for many years.
Yep.
And who can blame you? You show up there. He turns around. He starts hitting on you. He didn't even recognize you.
Right.
And your own father was hitting on you.
Yeah, well,
if
you knew him, he's 7 years old, and he just saw this blonde hair, and he was like, "Hey, baby, come on." And I was like, Dad, it's Tatum. And he was like, oh, hey. And I was like, oh, shit. And he told the story himself to Vanity Fair, and then it went everywhere. It went viral, so he doesn't even know the difference of what looks bad for him.
I mean, that story is so wrong. First of all, he's hitting on you at a funeral. Let's say you
at
weren't
the funeral of supposedly the love of his life.
Of his wife. His common law wife.
Yeah.
It's perfect. It's genius.
But it is, it
is good television, I'm telling you.
We laugh at it, but I imagine you've been in a lot of therapy.
I have since I was 15, yeah.
And I'm sure the first thing the therapist says to you, none of this is funny.
No, none of this. He goes, you need to be really far away from that man.
Your mother was a disaster, too.
But you know what? Let's here's the thing.
Let's be real.
She was beautiful. And she
important.
wasn't like him, she could. I think he hurt her really bad, and she had addiction problems, and I think she just couldn't kind of.
You've been surrounded by addicts. Your mother was a woman,
beautiful actress,
married to Ryan O'Neal. Is she still alive?
No.
Okay.
She passed away in '98. But he kicked the shit out of her. So that and I don't usually go around saying that, but. So I feel like she didn't have a chance, and so I forgive her. You know what I mean? Like, she was so nice.
Your parents divorced when you were like 6, right?
3.
3 years old, okay. Your mother takes you to a hippie farm of some kind.
Correct.
She bought some sort of weird little shitty farm.
Correct. She was doing crystal at the time, or what was crystal in the 70s.
Doing crystal meth. She takes you
to this... She has a 15-year-old boyfriend.
Takes you to the farm.
15-year-old boyfriend.
15-year-old boyfriend.
I mean, you think I make this up? I swear I don't. I have pictures.
Wackiest, honey, you've had the wackiest life.
I know.
You know what you need?
What?
You really need a man like me.
I need a reality show. I need a reality show with my dad.
You need a reality show with your dad. I forgave it to you.
I really need that. That's, I think, what would cure me.
Tatum.
Yeah.
Because people would think, oh my God.
I think people.
She had the life.
I know, she had such a great
life. Ryan
so
O'Neal,
lucky.
Hollywood.
Big movie star, Oscar.
But your mother takes you to this hippie farm.
Right.
You're introduced to the lowest dregs. Her boyfriend's there. You get molested at the age of what, 3 or 6?
No, like 6, yeah.
Yeah, and you've been molested by 4 different people in your life.
I have, yeah.
I mean, you just had shit luck.
I don't think of it like that. I just think of it, some people have had a tough time, you know, and I'm one of them, and I just happen to be out there in the limelight and talk about it.
There's no way a child can grow up in that environment, and then, like, your mother's so fucked up that your father gets custody of you, and you think,
I'm saved.
I'm saved. My great dad is going to take me. He takes you. He puts you in the movies.
Right, which worked for him for a minute there, and then it didn't work for him when I kind of went and did better than him.
Yeah. Did he love you? Like, all of a sudden you got in the movies, he's like, now I have a daughter that's worthwhile of me.
You know, I think I was a good way for him to get girls for a while. You know, I was like his little sidekick.
Right.
And the minute I got breasts and I started to become kind of awkward, it was just I was not that fun anymore, and I think that's when he started to get bored of me, and that's when things went to hell.
Yeah, so you had this like loving, close relationships, probably like abnormally close.
Until I got nominated for the Oscar and I won it. Yeah. And then he I don't know what happened.
He beat the shit out of you, didn't he? For that?
Well, that's what someone said. I don't remember, but I think that's what Vivian Kubrick said, actually. But
she saw it?
Yeah, because I was in England. He was making Barry Lyndon. And Vivian was Stanley's daughter.
And she saw him beat you up?
Yeah, or hit me or threaten me or something like that.
When you won the Oscar, it drove him nuts because he never had the Oscar.
Well, that's true. Maybe.
That's supposition.
But he doesn't say that to me.
Right.
But people could surmise just because of the fact that he didn't come with me to the awards, and he says he was busy with doing Barry Lyndon, and that's fair enough.
Bad News Bears after that, another hit.
Right. He got mad at me for that because we made a bet which movie we were driving on PCH, and he had the roles, and I was sitting next to him, and he goes, let's make a bet which movie's going to make more money, and he for sure thought Barry Lyndon would, because it's like, you know, it's right after Paper Moon and Bad News Bears did, and he got really mad about that.
Yeah. When a father is jealous.
Yeah, you wouldn't want him, Robin.
No.
But a lot of girls liked him.
Well,
a lot of girls.
He was cute.
He had a lot of women to trust me. Whoo!
Boy, did he have
Golly, a lot of chicks.
I know. I looked at the list.
It's unbelievable.
Listen to your dad banged. I don't know if you can be proud of this. I guess
Come on, keep going. Let's start with the number one.
All right, here, I'll give you. Wait a second. This is
someone like you could be proud.
It's 7 pages. Well, yeah.
It's 7 pages.
It's 7 pages.
Although you have a wife that he would wish to have, trust me.
I've got a wonderful wife.
Beautiful wife.
Beautiful. All right, he banged. And these are just a couple of names. I'm sure you could name a lot more.
Okay.
Bianca Jagger.
Yep.
Banged her.
Yep.
Angelica Houston.
Yep.
I'm not so jealous of that. Melanie Griffith. Wow. You don't like Melanie, huh? Why?
You know what?
Be honest.
I wish her the best. She has an addiction problem too.
Right.
So you know what? I don't want to say anything about her. Like I thought she loved me and she loved him. So what can you do? You know, he was appealing.
Yeah.
And I was 13 and she was 17. So
what's the mechanism when you're an addict and like all of a sudden you crack and you just like you go off? Like what? Like you could be sober for 10 years and then all of a sudden, bam! It just happens. You can't keep it together anymore.
Well, supposedly you're supposed to keep working your program and going to meetings and doing that, and that sort of keeps you well. And if you stop doing that, there's a chance you could crack. So the deal is stay close and do the things you're supposed to do to keep you healthy.
Do you miss drugs?
No.
Not at all.
Not even a little.
Really?
No.
So
all they did was ruin my life in every way.
But you've got it under control then.
Absolutely.
Because you're disgusted by it.
Disgusted.
What was your favorite drug when you used to get high?
You know, I don't have any anymore. I mean, I couldn't get off heroin in the 90s. And then
Is heroin a great feeling when you first do it? Does it just wipe away every bit of your pain?
I guess I thought it did, but I don't think it does. I really wouldn't say anything good about drugs on your show or on any show. I can't.
Is there a show
I have
you
kids and stuff. I can't tell you anything good. They've only done terrible things to everyone I know and to me.
Did you shoot it or did you?
I did, yeah.
You did?
Uh-huh.
Thank God you didn't get like AIDS from a
or
dirty needle.
hepatitis C or die or OD or anything.
It's a miracle.
It is a huge miracle. Huge. I feel grateful every day.
You even said one time when you were in prison, you spooned.
I wasn't in prison.
Jail, whatever.
I went to jail for one night in my whole life.
Now you have a
I was
prison
in
experience.
prison.
When you were in the jail,
When I was at
you
Lompoc.
you spooned another.
Well, she spooned me. She was pregnant, yeah.
Because you guys were scared and you spooned each other, or
Well, not really. There was one mat.
Oh, okay.
Okay. There was one mat, and
This
we
is
were
hot.
laying there, and there was really it was that's for effect. I wrote that in my book. I wouldn't say that we kind of curled up to each other. It was just we were laying there next to each other.
Women in prison curling up next to each other,
It's so
especially
pretty.
Tatum O'Neal.
How about a pregnant lady
You ever
with a
done- you-
short skirt?
Did you ever try lesbianism in your life? Turn to women instead of men?
I have, yeah.
You have?
Uh-huh.
Well, that's fucking
My daughter knows that too, so
always that hot.
she's 20.
Where'd you meet this other?
Listen, I was trying to figure this out. Like, mommy, are you my mommy? Like when I was
Baby.
about 18.
No shame in this. Let it out.
No, that's okay.
This is
but
hot.
and it hasn't. I haven't been a, let's say,
You tried it once?
bisexual in decades.
Well,
More than once.
There were a
probably
bunch of
3.
women. Famous women?
Maybe.
Oh my God. What
Maybe.
went
I mean,
down?
come on. You know, you have to have some fun in your life.
Baby, who's saying no?
I'm old and I have not. I'm boring. Now,
Listen, love is love. Don't.
well, I don't know if it was love.
Ever kiss Melanie Griffith?
No.
Ever make out with
Michael Jackson? Yes.
Michael Jackson?
Yes.
Oh, you did, right?
Uh-huh.
That's weird.
Sorry.
All the rest of your life, forget about. That's weird.
Come on, that's not weird. That's lucky. A lot of people would want to kiss before he had all that face work done. Come on.
That's because.
But I thought you said he was kind of
he was
bad
scared
at it. Yeah.
and sweaty.
Well, yeah, he was bad at it.
He had a big half.
He was a homosexual man. Trying
Was
to be,
he? Is that what it was?
Well, what do you think? What did you think?
He
you
was
know.
in love with Diana Ross, and that was real.
But he wanted to be Diana Ross.
Very true.
Who did you fall in love with that was a woman?
I didn't. I never did because I'm straight. That's the thing.
You would just hang out at parties.
I was
and-
trying to figure out where the mommy thing was. It really is true. I was just sort of trying to find out female because I didn't have any females. I had that great male role model dad.
And these women would kiss your vagina?
No.
You never had that?
No, and I wouldn't say that even if I did, just because even though my daughter's 20 and above, you know.
Wait a second. You had a lesbian
I
experience?
absolutely am not going to say that
And
on
no
my.
one kissed your vagina?
Nope.
And you kissed no one's vagina?
I never kissed any vaginas in my whole life.
I disagree.
Well, you can think about it and dream about it. And
So what's the lesbian relationship?
how about like just
touching?
rubbing?
Oh, rubbing. I'm thinking about it. Oh, you must have been some action in that bed with that girl.
I haven't. It's been so long. I
So
can't
loving.
even remember. I can't even remember.
You got
honestly.
a boyfriend now?
I don't. I'm very happy single.
What are you doing for yourself?
You know, I'm hustling, just trying to, you know, work.
No
and
sex? When's the last time you got anything?
I
You look
haven't had
terrific.
sex in a really long time.
Did you miss it?
Eventually, if I meet the right person, I would love to have a loving, a kind of a very nice.
Has it been a year?
Yeah.
You are kidding.
I swear to God. I swear to God. I
What are
wouldn't
you
lie
doing?
to you. You know what is it? Like you get to a point in your life you just don't want to have indiscriminate sex.
Are guys hitting on you?
Yeah.
Of course. You look great.
Thanks.
And you haven't had it in
I
a
haven't,
year.
and I didn't want it either. I wanted to kind of, I want to figure this thing out. I want to sort of, I want to show what my family was like growing up in my show, help other families kind of see that they're not alone in feeling weird and
So what are you doing
and
for-
unloved in your family life.
Are you pleasuring yourself?
I am not even doing that.
What?
I swear to
Honey,
God, I'm just doing my thing. I'm just busy.
You
know?
never touch yourself.
I'm going to do Joy later and
Joy.
Joy Bay. I'm
Joy
not going to
Behar.
do her. I'm
You're-
going to do.
You're telling me, Tatum.
I haven't
Tatum,
masturbated in a really long
you don't
time.
own a vibrator.
I don't.
I'm shocked. You're a woman who's into sensual pleasure.
I know, but and I'm afraid like one of my kids would find it and make fun of me. I have two sons. One
please.
is 23 and 25. Can you imagine how embarrassing that would be?
That's not that
like, ew,
embarrassing.
Mom, what would, ew.
Keep them out of the bedroom.
Well, I mean, they search around like, I don't know, like I would just feel really awkward
Do
if
your
they found
kids
that.
know your father at all? They don't like him.
No, not at all.
Of
Not
course
even a little bit.
I don't even like him. I don't even know
But
him.
Emily met him once, my
Right,
daughter, who I
right.
think you've probably met once or twice.
Yeah.
And he goes, and she was sitting there next to him, and she was hungry. We were hungry. We had not eaten dinner yet. And he goes, God, you're really hungry. I mean, this is after never meeting her before, and she's like, swear, 15 years. I mean, he's met her once on our, and she just goes, what? And he goes, you're just so, wow, eat some more. What are you, like, starving? Have you never eaten before in your life? And she looked at me and she's like, Mommy, like we've got to get out of here.
Can you imagine? I mean,
He's like a monster.
He's a
with
monster.
Kids.
He's just the
He's
worst
not great,
father.
but if you talk to my brother Griffin, he will tune him in on a radio show one day, and he will literally give you the blow-by-blow. What does he call him? The Beast? And he calls him the Beast with no remorse.
Do they have any relationship?
Not after he shot at him with the gun.
Right, and fist fights and punching
and teeth falling out and all that.
And
yeah.
your father would lose a pool game, a game of pool to your brother, and then have to beat him up.
Or then throw the cue at me. He threw the cue at me.
You have been physically abused in the worst way, haven't you?
But I've come out the other side like a pretty flower. How do you do that? It's not
Are you
impossible.
angry?
Not anymore.
Oh, come on.
I swear to God, Howard. I swear
I don't know how you get
God,
to that point.
Because you have empathy for the person that lives their life hurting others, and you start to go, wow, that guy's alone. He is very alone, and I would never want to be as alone as he is when I have such close relationships with my children.
All right, so explain to me this.
Okay.
All right, first of all, you have a new book.
I do.
It's Found, A Daughter's Journey Home.
I kind of like that title. It's very girly.
I like a girly book.
It's a girly book.
I like girly
no
stuff.
masturbation in it at all.
And then the thing that also fascinates me is this, what we'll call docu-series, Ryan and Tatum, the O'Neills, premiering this Sunday at 10 o'clock on OWN, Oprah Winfrey Network. The idea was you were going to go try to patch up things with your father. That's the idea of the show.
That's what they say. My opinion was that I was trying to have a conversation, and the only way that he would be willing to have a conversation with me in his mind was if it was on television, and I was like, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Isn't this an attempt to humiliate him and show the world what a bad father he is and what a bad human being he is?
No, Howard, I would never do that.
Well, yes, this is shedding a light on it.
Maybe then people will believe me in what I wrote in the first book.
You know what I find amazing too? So once you do the Paper Moon, you do
Bad News
Bears, you're making some money as a kid now. Your parents, for lack of a better word, put you in charge of your own money. Which is insane.
No, it was really like some bad screw-ups going on there, yeah.
When you're a 10 or a 12-year-old with that kind of cash in the bank,
you can't do anything but get in trouble.
Yeah, like what did you just act out? Did you?
Well, first of all, I paid
like
for
an adult.
my mother. My mother needed support, so I supported her literally until she died. So
did you have a lot of resentment because you had a mother on your back, so to speak?
Yes, I did. Yeah. I felt very. As a kid, I felt angry with her because she should not be dependent on me financially, and that the roles were reversed, and I was her mother, kind of, so to speak.
You were in touch with that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty good, at least. Yeah, I mean, what kind of nonsense is this? I got to go work to support my mother who's got problems, and she probably went through all your money, didn't she? Because she was a drug addict.
No, she didn't. She didn't go through all my money. I was able to do that on my own.
How did that miracle happen?
She didn't
have control.
I had
money
a business
from
manager. And it was
Yeah.
like a monthly thing. So it wasn't. She didn't like it. Was the Jackie Coogan law by then had been erected, which was that a parent of a kid couldn't take all the earnings of a child star, kind of thing. So that couldn't have happened.
And were you were you the kid? They always talk about Drew Barrymore being able to go to clubs. And
I kind of love her. I think she's kind of a miracle. Like she did great.
She is a miracle.
Yeah,
she came through and
is
made it.
Beautiful and doing great. So congratulations to her.
But do you know her?
I do.
Do you relate to her?
I do. I mean, I sort of think I love the fact that she's got such a good life. Yeah.
Were you someone who was allowed to freely go out to clubs, do whatever you want?
Yes, and yes.
And you started doing drugs at what age?
Young, like 13.
13. Out of control. Nobody cares. Your father doesn't check in on you. No one gives a shit about you. Do you start having sex at 13?
That's in my first book.
Yeah.
I did, yeah.
With older guys?
I don't like where this is going, Howard.
I'll tell you, it's Tatum. Listen to me why.
Yes, I did, yes.
So these older guys, they're talking about guys who should have known better.
Right.
These
That's
are guys,
rape, basically.
That's rape.
That's like statutory rape,
This is where I'm getting at. I'm not going after who did what to
Exploitation and
who.
stuff.
What I'm going after is that you're the young girl at 13. These guys who are all over 18 should have known better. They're with a 13-year-old girl.
But in the meantime, it was the 70s, and I'm not making an excuse by any means.
Yes, you
but
are.
No, I'm not. Because I'm going to explain.
excuse.
Let me
I
tell
was
you
in the
something.
70s.
It's disgusting. But let me just tell you, look at what was happening. Roman Polanski was getting arrested at Jack's house.
Right.
Luckily, I didn't get, that didn't happen. I wasn't like... Can you say the F word on this?
Sure. You say it.
You can't.
I'll say
I didn't get fucked by Jack or Warren or any of those guys who like girls like Melanie... may have been. I'm not 100% sure.
Right.
So that was happening, and I think that there was no supervision, at least for me.
Well, for people like you.
Or
yeah.
for people like me, and there certainly wasn't any protections the way there are today.
There were no boundaries. There were no rules.
Yeah.
And you need that.
And I definitely need that, and I'm so lucky and grateful that my kids have had, even though they've had the rough times when I haven't been my best self, let's say,
Right.
I've done everything differently, let's say, with them that I could. Like,
are you grateful to your ex-husband, John, for taking the kids in and taking care of them?
Of course. How could you not be?
But he stepped up. Most guys, your father wouldn't have stepped up and taken the
No, but
kids.
I think most guys would.
Right.
I think that he did, and I'm grateful to that.
And a good father, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd have to ask my kids now. I think he might have been great when they were littler.
Is that
I think they're struggling, all of them, because you know what it's like when kids get old. They get fresh, you know?
Is that a great source of pain to you in the sense that if you hadn't had the drug thing in this night, because you and John, when I used to see you together, you looked like the perfect couple. You really had a lot going on.
I mean, that was a good marriage. It really was.
It was.
It was good. And perhaps if I didn't have such an ugly upbringing and such an ugly, traumatic experience, I may have been able to
handle that relationship.
Exactly, and that's the problem, and I do regret that.
You
That
do.
doesn't mean that I want him to in any way. He has a beautiful relationship now, and I would never want that to. You know, I'm happy for him.
Do you ever play it over in your head and go, you know what, damn it, if I could have just not been high?
I
and
try
all that.
not. I wasn't high. You see, I didn't get high until the divorce.
I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. I didn't start getting high until after I realized what was I going to do with my life. You know, that he wasn't going to be it wasn't going to be a pretty divorce or anything. It was.
So why did you break up with John anyway? Why did that go wrong?
I feel like I just said, because of the things that happened in my prior life.
You were not trained, in a sense, by your parents to be in an adult
And I don't
relationship.
think, and let's be fair, I don't know that John was quite as sensitive as he is now. Like, I think he's a better man now. He's older, he's mature, and I think he was trying to get his ranking back, and there was a lot of stuff going on, and I was younger than my daughter. I was 19. I had my first kid when I was 20, and the second kid when I was like 21, and the third when I was 22 and a half.
Do you think John...
26 for Emily, so 22 and 21.
Do you think John blames you? John never
John's
wanted...
mad at me. I mean, he hasn't stopped being mad at me for a very long time. So I wish he would stop being mad at me.
Do you think he's mad with you, too, because there was so much turmoil in the marriage that it cost him the rest of his tennis career? Does he blame you for that?
Yes, he does.
He does?
Yeah. I mean, is that fair?
I don't know. Is it?
I mean, I don't think so. I think if you marry someone who's got issues or who's got a terrible upbringing, you kind of need to do your research and know that, and not blame the person who's had the abuse. And
But did the relationship distract him from tennis?
I don't think so.
So you don't
that's mean.
I'm asking.
I don't think so. Not even a little bit. No.
Some people have that theory, you know.
Well, they can think that. I mean, he wanted to have 3 kids. He wanted us to travel with him. It was probably distracting. Leave us at home.
Right.
You know, I was a young, pregnant wife for most of the time we were married. So I would hope to think I was a supportive, good wife. For him to blame me would be, I think, terrible and wrong.
Was he the best lover you ever had?
Yeah.
He was?
Yeah.
Hands down.
Well, then he should get rid of his anger right now.
You're not kidding. Well, that's a very nice thing to say.
Was. Absolutely.
Because of his penis size, or because he was good in bed?
Because he loved me.
Because he did love you.
Yeah.
You felt truly loved for once
For
when you were with
sure.
John McEnroe.
Correct.
You finally had love.
And a good love, and he was very loyal and very moral. You know, he's a moral guy. So whereas my dad wasn't a moral guy, he's a moral guy. And I thought that was good. And so maybe if I hadn't had the terrible, fucked up upbringing,
you could have handled things.
I could have, but I don't think that his life, I don't think that if he hadn't married me that he would have stayed at #1 for the next decade. I think that changes when you've got Becker and Lundell and guys hitting the ball, you know, so hard, and the game changing. But
did you love that part of your life where you used to go to the games and sit in the
sure,
stands?
and basketball and all that stuff we did. It was fun.
And you're watching your man play, and he's #1 in the world.
Yeah, how about I'm reading a book? Once I came with a book, and he stops the match, and he looks up and he goes, "Put the book down." It's like, oh my God. And he could see me. I was way up in the stands. I was like, oh my goodness, like, put that book down. And I had Kevin in a little basket next to me.
There's a lot of nice memories there.
Yes, very nice, because it was
I'm
stable.
going to suggest to you that you're still in love with him.
Well, please don't say that
I'm
on air.
suggesting it.
Please don't, because you know that you're friends with Patty, and I'm very happy for them. I mean, they have a really good thing.
But you're in love with John still.
Well, you want to say that, fine. I'm not saying that.
I want you to say it.
No way.
Look at me.
No, I
Don't
wouldn't,
look
because
away.
because you know why? family. If I say something like that and that affects my children's relationship with my ex-husband because that disrupts a family life, absolutely not. I would never do anything to make their life more
If
difficult.
Patty died, God forbid,
Oh God, I would. Now that's even worse.
Will you say to John, "I want you back. I need you"?
I don't know about that, Howard. I just don't know.
You're
I really
thinking
don't
about
know.
it.
I'll think about it.
You're
I'll
thinking
think
about
it.
Patty dying, and
I'm
you're
not
thinking-
thinking about Patty dying. She
You're
has
thinking
two
about
beautiful
going-
daughters.
You're thinking of
three
going to the
beautiful
funeral
daughters, and Emily was with her oldest daughter in L.A. yesterday. Absolutely not. We're all kind of a family now. I
But
don't
you
even see it like that.
But you do love John.
I
And
have
I'm-
a lot of respect for him. He's John McEnroe. He was a great legend, champion. There will never be another one like him. Who could not? I was married to a very, very wonderful, interesting person.
I like him very much.
I know. He's a very interesting person. Very, very cool, interesting guy.
If I was a woman, I'd sleep with him.
You would?
Absolutely.
I think Chrissy Hind had a crush on him, or does have a crush
Was
on
it
him.
hard to get a guy like that? Did you have a lot of competition at that point?
Well, I was 20 years old, or 19 actually. I was 19,
Hot as
and
can
we
be.
met. We met at Richard.
Richard Held?
No, not that's Patty's ex-wife.
That's right.
No, he's with Jane Fonda now. That guy. Richard, the guy who used to have the Pointer Sisters, used to manage them.
Richard Perry.
Go
ahead.
Guy.
You were at a party at the
Richard,
house.
and then John had just gone to see the Romeo Void. That's how freaking old it is. We're talking 80s.
He's a music fan.
But he didn't like that band. He hated Romeo
How
Void.
old were you at that point?
I was 19.
And how old was he? He was like
25.
A kid. 25.
24.
24, a kid.
Yeah, he had just won he hadn't won the Grand Slam, but he had missed Australia, so it was 1984.
And he walks into the party and you say, I got to have
No,
this
no,
guy.
no. He comes and sits right down next to me and literally from then on, we were like married for 10 years. Like he sat there and we never were apart.
You never
and
were
I
apart
was,
again.
And I was pregnant within 5 months.
You made love to him the first night you met him?
No. I made him wait 3 days.
You did?
No, more than 3 days, a couple of weeks.
Smart move.
Yeah, I'm going to blame this on you. If they get mad, if
This is
Patty
love.
and
Patty
if Patty
doesn't.
and
I called Patty before the interview and said, "Would you be upset if?"
You promise?
No, I can't promise.
I was going to say
do
that's
that.
a lie.
Call her after. Do me a favor, please, because you're
She's
her
not-
friend. You're her friend,
Listen, if she is threatened by this discussion, then that would be crazy.
right? They've been together a decade.
They're very much in love.
I
and
know.
They have a wonderful relationship.
And now in a great marriage. So no. Listen.
But
I'm
if
okay today. I had a great
If a
thing
woman
with him.
wants a John McEnroe type, a guy who's on top of the world, a young, attractive guy, you're saying, wait, don't give him sex that first night.
I do say that, yeah.
You say, wait 3 nights.
No, but it wasn't even 3. It was more than that because he had to go away. He always travels, So he went away probably for a couple of weeks, and then the next time I saw him, that was when.
And I find you a very sexy woman. I would
Thank
imagine
you.
John, when he first entered you the first time, could not hold out a long time. I would say he prematurely
I can't
ejaculated.
remember.
You know
I
it.
swear to God, I can't remember. That was probably Kevin, though.
It was probably a
That's
disappointment.
our first kid right there.
You allowed him to go into you bareback, no rubber, nothing. And
We're
a
talking
child
about
was-
1983.
I don't care. That's right.
4.
And he made love to you repeatedly.
Now we're really going into a place of just, man, I'm so uncomfortable. I can't even tell you.
Well, John says that, didn't he
No,
write...
he's mad at me. He's still mad at me. He says,
Right.
he went on Wendy Williams and he said, that show they're going to do, let those two. In the meantime, look,
Well,
I've
he
never
probably hated you-
remarried.
He probably hated your father.
But I never, can I take a tissue from
Yeah,
your
go
desk?
ahead. I'm sorry I
I've-
made you cry.
You didn't.
Oh, too bad.
It's
I want that to be like...
sweating.
Are you sweating?
A
Yes.
little bit. My nose always
You
sweats.
look good. What are you wearing? You wearing a bra?
I am. Yeah, I'm wearing a bra.
Fabulous.
Thank you.
I didn't realize you had a full chest like that.
Yeah, well,
Yeah. What are you, a C or a D?
I am a C.
A C?
Yeah.
Robin is a G.
Oh, here we go.
Come on, show me, stand up.
Come on, Robin.
But
take
listen,
something
just
up.
so
Yes.
you know, just to make the point,
Right.
I did never remarry, So you could think, for the record, that was the love of my life.
The love of your life.
You
But
know,
you're not
not-
close to the idea of marriage.
If
again.
somebody great like him, but who am I going to meet that's as great as John McEnroe?
All right, now, that's right. That's right. Of course. That's a very
He
nice
should give
thing
me
to
that other Warhol, though. I don't know where that is, the two of us together.
Ah.
He has one still in the Green Street Gallery.
You probably, when you got divorced from John, you had a lot of money. You say you blew through all your money because of drug use,
Well,
right?
I had Ken Starr help too, that guy who got arrested in the closet.
So you lost all your money.
Well, he helped me lose a lot of it.
Are you okay now financially?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Because of your... Are you? You're blowing by that, but are you okay?
No, I really am. Like, I really work really hard. Like, I do movies, I do books, I do this, I do that.
Was it a hard transition for you from being a child superstar, and then all of a sudden, I don't know if you got a lot of adult roles, but was there a period of time where you just sort of didn't, and then you were like, what's happening here? I don't understand.
Well, I'm a little different than, like, Lindsay Lohan and those types, because I had to figure out, first of all, I was sort of not a healthy person mentally because of the upbringing, so I kind of had to figure out, who was I? Did I even want to be an actor or an actress? And then I had to kind of... And I realized I didn't, and then I got married, and then I sort of never blamed Hollywood. It was always the way I sort of came at it, that it was always going to be my experience about how hard it was.
Were you a child prodigy in the sense that suddenly you were put on film and suddenly you were great?
You didn't take lessons or any of that stuff.
So, in a sense, were you like a prodigy? You were totally natural on film. You weren't nervous when you went into the movies. It was no big deal. It was just make-believe and fun.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, you have fun, and once you stop having fun at what you do, you need to question it and sort of look at it and maybe, yeah, it's, I was injured. So I couldn't have just transitioned into... I couldn't have done a very easy transition, no matter what.
To being an adult actress.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been able...
Who even knows if you really want to be an actress.
Exactly. I couldn't have just done it, but I'm at the best place now than I've ever been, thank God.
Hey, you look real good.
Thanks.
And that's most important.
It is.
And when your father met Farrah Fawcett...
Yeah.
After being in his life, he totally shut you out. He said, I got to go fuck Farrah Fawcett. Get away from me.
He lived with her.
Right. And he just said... And he threw
And he left you at home.
Yeah.
Right. But luckily we had that house. Luckily we still had the house.
But you're a young kid and you're living on your own. And, and your
me
father,
and Griffin.
And when you and Griffin would go over to see your dad at Farrah Fawcett's, it's like, hey, get the hell away. You're ruining my scene here.
No, it was racquetball.
Racquetball?
It was a lot of racquetball, yeah.
What do you mean?
Basically, because my throat now is starting to go, but basically we had to play racquetball with him and Farrah, and it's truly out of a horror movie. Like, he would stand above us, and my brother or I would play racquetball with Farrah, and he'd scream like, "Get your racket back!" And I was probably 14 or 15, and it was just a horrendous experience. I hated racquetball. I didn't want to play Farrah Fawcett.
Yeah, exactly. But what do you think all his anger is about? What is he so angry? He's had a charmed life.
I have no idea.
What did his parents do to him?
I don't know.
Did you know his parents?
They were nice. They were nice, really nice
people.
But don't you sometimes think, because I look at Ryan O'Neal, I think he's mentally ill.
It could be.
I think so.
I think so.
Do you think he made you mentally ill?
No, I'm not mentally ill.
Yeah.
I'm very normal.
Right. But you even said you had so many issues to deal with. He could have driven you crazy.
Well, he could have driven me to kill myself. That would have been the worst thing.
And you did try.
I have, yeah.
Thank God you didn't.
But I'm not, and especially for my relationship with my 3 kids, which are my primary relationships at the moment.
They are, and you're back with them, and
they live with me and stuff. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Like my son Sean lives with me, and my daughter's living with me now, and
that's wonderful.
Yeah.
That is a real
my oldest
turnaround.
son is living in Brooklyn, and that's why it's always good when I'm in New York. And
do you feel so angry that you missed out on so many years with them? I mean, that would probably.
Well,
drive
I
you
didn't
nuts.
miss out on as many as probably people think. I probably missed out on at the most 1.5 years.
Would you still be trying to be with your dad if it wasn't for a TV show? Like, why even bother with this guy? Why try?
Do you bother with him except for TV shows?
Yeah, right.
It depends, It depends on what he was doing, if he was behaving. Like, if he behaves, I'm fine.
Right.
If he...
erupts.
If he starts to say shit and be uncool, then I, don't want to be around him.
Right.
How does it work with this TV show? In other words, you said, I'm going to go try and repair things with my dad.
Well, something... Or I said I wanted to have a conversation and see how that would go.
Did you call him first to prepare for the TV show and say, do you want to do this?
We had dinner with this person, and he sort of thought that it would be a good idea, and my dad is kind of ego-driven, and that sort of appealed to him.
He's desperate to be on TV.
Yeah.
Even to put Farrah on while she dies and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, right, yeah. So
I was really shocked because Oprah sort of, bought into all that, and she had him on, and he cried, and he did all that crap, and I was like, this is not real.
Right. You didn't think it was real?
Listen, I don't, I'm not going to make a comment on that. Like,
wish you would.
I'm not.
Well, I mean, he had
Because
broken
he might
up.
beat me up or something. I don't want to.
What
like,
do you get you up?
kidding.
If you say
he can't walk, run, or anything. He's old now, so.
at this point, can't you beat him up?
Well, I could certainly run faster than he can. He just
absolutely.
had his knee replaced. But he's trying to be nicer, Howard. He really is. He's trying. He knows that he did some stupid stuff.
But
he
does he
said
really-
he said he's a real boob in my second book, and then in my first book he says he's like some kind of beast from the devil or something.
So you approached him. You said,
We
let's
were
get together.
approached together by a guy, and then I just said to Dad, "Let me take it from here."
And how does it work on the reality show? Do you
It's
whatever
not a reality
docudrama,
show.
whatever you want to call it? Listen to me, Tatum.
Yeah.
What is it like though when you go over to his home and hang with him and have a conversation?
I didn't want to do that, so we did stuff. Like we went to Palm Springs, and we also went to New York for fairs. The bathing suit being put in the Smithsonian.
And are you sitting there going, "Oh, this guy's a hypocrite"?
Well, you'll see it on TV.
You erupt.
if you watch.
You really confront
I
him.
don't erupt. I ask him a couple of questions, and he erupts, and then I erupt.
Is it painful to watch that film
I
back?
don't like watching it. No,
Have you watched it?
I have. Yeah,
You
I had a
watch
good
it?
deal with the companies that I could watch.
Will you watch it when it airs?
The first episode, but then not anything else.
How awful!
How many episodes is it?
8. Why is that awful?
That your father erupts at you at every chance he gets, and he does it on video. Of course,
But you
it's awful.
act as
People
if
are
this man
gonna-
can control
I'm
himself.
saying
He
it's
No, but
can't.
people are going. It's very
awful for Tatum.
compelling television, and I think that people are going to learn something. I don't know what that is, and I'm telling you that there's a lesson to be learned here, and if I can facilitate that, I'm all for it. I really do. There are women like me who have turned to drugs because of parenting issues and because of unhealthy relationships, and to put it out there, I think is one of the best things, and to have the OWN network behind it is.
Baby, I understand.
Thanks.
Believe me, and I feel for you.
Thank you. But I think, I'm doing other things too. I'm producing, and not just stuff for TV, but real shows.
I'm
work.
learning. Don't have Ryan O'Neal as a father. That's what
How about have Ryan O'Neal on the show? Why don't you do
I was
that?
going to say
I'll
it'd be
have
a
him on.
great guest.
You know what, Tatum? Have him here with you. I'll straighten him out. Trust
Yeah,
me.
you're going to straighten him
believe
out
you.
all
He
right.
ain't gonna get away with bullshit with me.
I believe you. I bet he would be scared. and he
I'll
wouldn't
put a
come.
rubber arm up his ass. Wait and
Not
see.
my
Or
Oscar.
your
I have to
Oscar.
get my Oscar back from him. No,
Where
he
is your
took.
Oscar?
He took it?
No, I had given it to him, and then he got mad at me, and he had it sent back to me with his assistant. I swear that's a true story.
What a daddy.
Yeah, that's Daddy.
Daddy.
My
Woohoo!
daddy.
Would you shake when he came into the room at some point in your life? Would you
I
shake?
did, yeah, when he was young.
Maybe
yeah,
even
because
throw
he
up?
could. No, when I tend to get nervous and throw up.
What is it?
But he
Papa
was
Fooey?
very volatile. You never knew what he was going to do.
No.
I'm going to set you up with Tim Sabian. Yeah, go
Tatum
ahead.
has to go, but before she goes, could you plug her book?
Yes, absolutely. Now, Tatum has written another book. And let me tell you something. You want to read about somebody's life.
A life.
If you want
Wow.
there's no slow part of her life. Now, that I can guarantee you. Now, this book is called Found, A Daughter's Journey Home.
Wow.
Good luck with that. It's a
Yeah, I mean, you don't even know where your home is.
That's right.
It's just trying to get home. I'm still searching.
Where
for
are
it.
you living now, in L.A.?
I live in L.A., but I have an apartment here in New York.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Uh-huh.
Check out Tatum's docu-series, Ryan and Tatum. Now, I can guarantee you I'll be front and center.
Fireworks, yeah.
This is going to be better than Chaz.
Better than Paris Hilton?
For sure.
Oh, well, Paris Hilton is great.
Come on, did you watch that? I haven't seen that. Is it any good?
God. Oh, is it
He
any
loves
good?
it. He
it's
loves it.
fantastic.
Is it? Why?
I hate it because she is a vomit. She's a vomit. I've never seen
What
anybody
is a
lacking human.
vomit?
Your father is more human than her.
Oh, God.
What does she say? Like, she says...
Well, she's vapid.
What does she say? Like, that's hot. Is that what she says?
The reason I say she's a vomit, some girl is an assistant to a friend of hers. She's trying to get her fired. I said, what kind of human being is this? What has she got to do with any of this?
Oh, boy. I'm glad I'm not watching that show.
Can't believe how attracted you are to me. Calm down, will you?
What, are
You
crawling?
picked that up?
Crawling
I'm feeling a lot of
crawling
sexual...
over the desk is too much.
You're
is that too much?
practically eating me up with your eyes.
So
by the
I'm
way-
checking out.
Yeah,
Bye,
listen,
guys.
No, hold on. Let me finish the plug.
Okay.
Don't check out anything.
Oh, my coffee spill.
I mean, what do you got to look forward to? You can go over there with Joy Behar and stare at the wall. Listen.
No,
to me.
I could get up like Shannon Tweed did last night. and leave
yeah.
because her husband was the guy from Kiss,
yeah.
Gene, yeah.
Gene, yeah. She got mad at him and got up and left.
Oh, really?
I've been dying to get those two on.
I would love to. I
Their
gotta
whole marriage-
They're in New
check that
York.
out.
They're in New
Their
York
whole
right now.
marriage. I just saw Gene up here yesterday, but I got
He's always up here. I
Yeah.
didn't see him.
You
yesterday,
do you
though.
want him to? Why won't he come on the show?
No, he does.
He comes on.
But
But had to get Shannon on.
Yeah, I've had Shannon on with him, but we have to do it again.
What's
because
going on? That marriage
There's something
breaking
stuff
up?
going on there. Yeah,
It's a worse relationship than you, Hefner, and his new fiance.
Well, they're not getting married
That's
anymore.
right. Now,
Really?
let's
How
finish-
old is he? 100?
80
85.
something.
Would you
And
ever
do you
bang-
think he could get it up? Do you think?
Absolutely. With Viagra, I've talked to girls who have done them.
Shut up.
Would you do an 85-year-old guy if he was a great guy?
Maybe.
Things are
Great
bad.
85.
You are horny.
I'm not.
You must be so horny.
I'm really not.
You're a sexual.
I am, but I'm
explosive-
really not horny. I swear. I'm not.
You want it badly.
Look, when she needs to, she'll take care of it.
Well, she's got
She's
a
a
vibrator.
capable woman.
I say
Do you
you
have a vibrator?
Of course I do.
She has a gun rack full of vibrators. You're going to lie to me and tell me you don't own a vibrator?
I swear
A
on my
woman who-
daughter Emily.
A woman who hasn't had sex in a year doesn't have a vibrator? Let
I'm
me finish,
telling you.
Let me finish the plug.
Maybe
Hold on.
I'm on Prozac and I don't, you know.
Are you on Prozac?
No.
What is that outfit? You look good.
Oh, thanks. Oh, it's
You wear underwear with that?
Yes.
You work out?
I always wear underwear, and yes, I work out. This is
You wear-
Isabel Marant.
You wear a thong?
Yes.
All right, now let me
Not
finish
a
your plug.
thong.
Let me
no.
finish the
Will
plug.
you get the plug out, please?
Oh, she keeps coming on to me.
I didn't. I swear.
Check out Tatum's docuseries, Ryan and Tatum, the O'Neills. Now imagine this. Now that premieres this Sunday at 10 on
I'll
OWN.
be there.
I'm not a big Oprah fan, but
I'll be at
watch
this
that.
one. I'll be at
Thank you,
this
Howard.
party.
Thanks, Howard.
I will be at the big party.
Good. You guys come to the party.
Have you seen your dad since the taping of the show?
No, he's coming to New York today.
He is?
Yeah.
Will you be with him?
I have to go on a show with him. Yeah.
Bring his fat ass in here.
I will.
What show are you going on with him?
Regis.
You're kidding.
That's what he agreed to. Regis can't handle him.
Regis, wait a second. Regis is going to say, Regis is going to ask about all this.
Exactly.
Come
He
in.
pulled out of. We had Barbara Walters. We were going to do together, and he pulled out of
Of
that.
course
I'm
he
not
did.
surprised.
Hey, you're
Yeah.
not kidding. He pulled out.
Yeah.
You ever see your father's penis?
Yeah.
Is he well hung?
I guess the girls think so. I don't remember kind of sizing it up
Why would you see that?
because we lived in the same house, and he was my dad.
All right. Listen to me.
I mean, your kids have never seen it.
Absolutely not.
Never really. Not even
Very
when
few
they were
people have
little.
seen
They can't find it.
Oh, that's right.
You have to part the hairs to find it. All right, listen to me. Check
That's
out
right. I forgot about that.
Oh,
You
big
do. You
deal.
have a little penis.
Tatum O'Neil. You're lovely.
Thank you. It was nice
enchanting.
to actually meet you in the. Can I take this off?
You've met me before.
I have met you before.
Yeah.
I went to
We're
your
still
gym.
saying
I went to
goodbye.
the gym.
You went to
We're
the gym.
still saying goodbye.
You tried to pick me up, but I wasn't available.
Pat Menachia.
That's right. We'll be back right after these words.
So, while you're going through these rough stories from your childhood,
I'm
Howard's
not.
kind of-
I don't want to keep going back to them, honey.
but Howard's kind of flirting with you. What's it like to be interviewed in that type
I
of
like
style?
working with Howard.
You also mentioned empathy has been a huge part of your
Yes.
recovery. What advice would you give to other people who've had a rough childhood to sort of empathize with?
Just keep on believing in yourself and picking yourself up and finding out who you are and not giving up.
All right.
Peace out.